There was a time when I thought intuition was nothing more than coincidence. That little nudge I felt in my stomach, the quiet no I couldn't explain, the sudden pull toward a decision that didn't make logical sense. I brushed those moments aside. I trusted plans, facts, checklists, other people's opinions. But here's the truth. The times I ignored my inner compass, I felt lost. The times I listened, even when I couldn't explain why, life opened in surprising and beautiful ways. Maybe you felt it too, that subtle voice inside that doesn't shout but whispers. That sense that something is right, or not right, long before your mind catches up. The problem is we live in a world that teaches us to doubt it, to silence it, to move faster instead of pausing to feel. This book, written and published by Mindful Literary, is a journey back to that compass. Not a new tool you have to learn, but the one you already carry within you. We'll walk through the seasons of inner guidance, winter's stillness, spring's awakening, summer's bold action, and autumn's reflection, and discover how they mirror the cycles of your own intuition. Think of this not as a manual, but as a companion, a reminder that you already know more than you realize. A guide to trusting what you feel, what you sense, what you've always known, but maybe forgot to follow. So let's begin, not by running forward, but by turning inward. The compass is waiting. Chapter 1. The Foundations of Intuition. Honoring the Inner Compass. Understanding intuition, differentiating it from rational thought. Imagine wandering through a dense forest, where the sunlight glimmers through the leaves and a faint trail beckons you forward. You might feel an instinctive pull to veer left, even when the path ahead is unclear. This act of choosing a direction without logical reasoning captures the essence of intuition. Intuition is that inner compass, guiding us often before our mind fully processes the situation. It's a gut feeling, a whisper that nudges us along, while rational thought builds intricate maps, laying out reasons, benefits, and consequences. The distinction becomes apparent when we recognize that intuition is subtle and immediate, appearing as hints rather than detailed plans. It is instinctive and rooted in experience, while rational thought operates in a more structured, step-by-step manner. Our understanding of intuition delves into a rich tapestry of psychology and spirituality, underscoring how it differs from rational thought. Psychologists might explain that intuition arises from our subconscious mind, where past experiences and feelings mingle to create rapid judgments. Spiritual traditions often view intuition as a deeper connection to our inner selves or the universe, a voice that speaks when we achieve quietness within. The science suggests that intuition can be linked to neural pathways. Our brains process vast amounts of data that culminate in quick insights. Unlike rational thought, which requires deliberation and analysis, intuition skips past that analysis, guiding us from a place beyond conscious thought. Think of it as the heart of decision-making, where emotions and instincts intersect, sometimes leading us astray, but often keeping us aligned with our true selves. Take a moment to reflect. Have you ever hesitated before making a decision, feeling an unshakable sense of discomfort even when everything seemed perfect on paper? That voice whispering warnings, that nagging sensation in your stomach, might just be your intuition trying to steer you away from a misstep. It's like an echo from your subconscious, trying to protect you by tapping into previous experiences or emotions that may not be immediately clear. This invites an interesting question. Can we cultivate our intuition to help us navigate life's complexities? One gentle practice could be to take a few minutes each day to sit in stillness, paying attention to the subtle thoughts and feelings that arise. Journaling about these intuitive nudges can also uncover patterns over time. Notice how your body feels in different situations. Let that guide your understanding. Eventually, the interplay between your intuition and rational thought can lead to profound insights. As you journey forward, let this be a gentle reminder. Trusting your intuition is not merely about taking leaps of faith, but about listening to the layers of wisdom that your body and mind, together, can provide. The quiet moments of awareness can lead to surprising clarity. Engage with life openly, allowing space for intuition to voice itself. Each whisper of understanding strengthens your connection to your true self, guiding you through life's twists and turns. So the next time you feel that internal nudge, take a moment. Breathe deeply and honor that feeling. It could just be the direction you need. The science behind intuition, brain, gut, and subconscious signals. Before a storm rolls in, sometimes the wind shifts subtly, carrying a scent that seems to warn the world of what's coming. Intuition works much like that shift, a quiet message arriving before facts or evidence can take shape. Deep inside us, a gentle network of signals flows between the brain, the gut, and the vast subconscious, crafting a language that feels more like knowing than thinking. This language doesn't shout. It whispers through flickers of feeling, sudden images, and subtle prompts that guide us without always making logical sense at first glance. The brain, while often considered the seat of reason, also holds a treasury of memories and patterns beyond our immediate awareness, constantly sifting through details to hint at what might be true or wise. Meanwhile, the gut, sometimes called our second brain, sends its own streams of messages, shaped by nerve endings and a vast collection of microbes, influencing how we experience emotions and decisions. Imagine the subconscious as a silent partner that stitches together fragments of experience and sensation without drawing attention to itself. These hidden layers collect information we rarely analyze outright, but respond to instinctively. This interplay between brain and gut is not a simple one-way street. They communicate through the vagus nerve, a kind of superhighway that lets feelings from deep inside ripple up to the conscious mind. When you've ever had a gut feeling, it's this complex network at work, the body offering a signal before the mind catches up. Scientific studies have shown that the gut produces many of the same neurotransmitters as the brain, like serotonin, which influences mood and perception. This connection means what we sense in our stomach can shape how clear or cloudy our intuition feels. The brain's ability to pick up on patterns combined with the gut's sensory data creates a subtle dance that nudges us toward choices and insights we sometimes can't explain but trust nonetheless. Take a moment to recall a time when you felt something deeply without words, a sense that steered you away from danger or urged you toward someone or something. Did you notice where that feeling came from? Was it a flutter in your chest, a sudden quiet in your mind, or a strong pull that you couldn't easily put into place? These moments are the voice of the web inside you, weaving together images, sensations, and memories stored beneath conscious thought. What if that quiet whisper is not just a trick, but a source of wisdom you carry every day? What does it feel like when you lean into those signals rather than push them aside? Have you noticed how rushing through decisions often mutes these inner clues, while stillness allows them space to breathe? If you'd like to begin listening more attentively to your intuition, try this simple practice. The next time you face a choice, pause and breathe deeply for a few moments. Before rushing to label your thoughts or feelings, bring your awareness gently to your body. Notice any sensations, tightness, warmth, a shiver, that arise around your heart, stomach, or head. Let these sensations speak without judgment, as if they are old friends quietly offering advice. You might jot down these feelings in a journal, describing them without trying to explain. Over time, you may find a clearer rhythm between your body's messages and your decisions, strengthening your trust in the subtle wisdom nested inside you. The whisper is not fragile. It waits. All it needs is your listening. Historical perspectives, wisdom traditions, and modern insights on inner knowing. Imagine stepping into a quiet, ancient chamber where the air feels thick with the weight of centuries. Shadows dance across the walls, and faint symbols carved into stone seem to whisper stories of humanity's quest for understanding. In this space, the oracle's voice was never loud, but always present, guiding, warning, and comforting those who sought its wisdom. This quiet knowing, often called intuition today, has long been a silent companion to human beings across ages and cultures. It was never a mysterious force, but a natural part of how people listened to their inner selves amidst the chaos of life. The whisper of inner knowing was felt in the stillness, in moments when words failed but feelings knew, helping people navigate choices that shaped their lives. Throughout history, different cultures have seen this inner voice as sacred, something to be trusted, cultivated, and revered. The Greeks, for example, told stories of the Oracle of Delphi, where priests would listen to a goddess's messages transmitted through cryptic phrases. These messages often came from a deep place within, beyond rational thought, yet they carried profound guidance. In the East, practices like meditation and mindfulness have always pointed to an awareness that extends beyond thinking, an inner space where clarity resides. Indigenous teachings also speak of a connection to nature and spirit, where intuition is a vital link to understanding one's purpose and place in the world. These traditions share a core belief that within us lies a wellspring of wisdom waiting to be recognized. Scientific research today explores how the brain and gut work together to form this inner compass. The gut, sometimes called the second brain, sends signals that influence our moods and decisions before the conscious mind even catches up. This blending of ancient wisdom and modern science highlights that inner knowing is both spiritual and biological, a natural part of human existence that remains accessible when we pause and listen. Thinking about these insights, it's easy to wonder when we last truly trusted our inner voice. Often, we get caught up in the noise of daily life, constant notifications, opinions from others, and the urge to analyze every detail. Yet, sometimes that quiet whisper persists beneath the surface, guiding us gently. Perhaps you've had a moment when a feeling or hunch nudged you toward a certain choice, only to be dismissed because it seemed irrational. But what if that feeling was your most authentic self trying to protect or guide you? Listening to that inner voice requires patience and a willingness to sit still, to quiet the external chatter and become receptive to subtle signals. Over time, many find that honoring their intuitive sense leads to more aligned and peaceful choices. It becomes a practice of trusting oneself, like tuning an instrument until its notes are clear and true. The more attention we give to these quiet stirrings, the more natural it becomes to recognize their voice amid the clamor of thoughts and fears. Once trust is cultivated, there are gentle ways to strengthen this connection. One simple step is to pause and reflect on small moments of inner guidance, asking yourself, "What do I feel in this moment?" Or "What does my gut tell me about this decision?" Keeping a journal of these feelings can reveal patterns and reinforce the habit of tuning in. Sometimes, simply paying close attention to physical sensations, like a flutter in the stomach or a sense of peace, can help distinguish genuine inner guidance from fleeting emotions. With time, this awareness begins to feel more natural, turning into a quiet confidence in your inner knowing. Remember, that whisper isn't meant to shout, it's meant to be heard. When you become more attuned, you start noticing that the inner voice isn't separate from who you are, but an integral part of your natural sense of self, guiding you softly but surely in each step of life. Cultivating receptivity, creating space for your inner voice to be heard. The image of a quiet pond reflects the sky, with its smooth surface perfectly mirroring the world above. This stillness invites a delicate whisper, a hint of inner guidance waiting to be recognized. Like the gentle ripples that disturb the pond's surface, our lives often create noise that keeps us from hearing our own thoughts and feelings. Creating moments of stillness in our day can help clear the distractions and allow our inner voice to emerge. This inner voice is often quiet, but when we make space for it, we can discover wisdom and clarity that was previously hidden beneath the surface. Gentle practices such as mindful breathing and intentional pausing can help cultivate an openness to this inner guidance. Taking a moment to breathe deeply can shift our focus from external pressures to our internal landscape. Breathe in slowly through your nose, allowing your chest and belly to expand. Hold for a second, and then exhale gently through your mouth, letting go of tension and distraction. This simple act of breathing can create a pocket of calm, making it easier to listen to yourself. Additionally, incorporating pauses into your routine can provide small windows of opportunity for reflection, encouraging you to tune in to your thoughts and feelings. Finding stillness doesn't require extra time. It can happen in the middle of a busy day. Maybe it's pausing for a moment before answering a question or taking a brief break just to notice your breath. Reflect on the questions you often overlook. What are you feeling right now, and what do you need? Can you recall a time when you ignored that small voice within you, only to regret it later? Recognizing these moments can help guide you toward a more receptive state, allowing the soft whispers of your intuition to come through. Creating space for yourself is not just a practice. It is a sacred invitation to listen deeply. As you continue on this journey, try a simple exercise. Find a comfortable spot where you won't be disturbed for a few minutes. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and visualize that quiet pond. Imagine the sky reflected in the water and allow your thoughts to settle. After a few moments, ask yourself a question about something weighing on your mind. Sit with this question, staying open to whatever arises. Let your thoughts float by without judgment, acknowledging them as they come and go. When you're ready, gently open your eyes and write down any insights you receive. This practice can become a bridge to deeper understanding and clarity. Chapter 2. Recognizing the language of your inner self. Decoding physical sensations as messages from within. You might suddenly notice a tightness in your chest, almost like someone's gentle hand pressing there, or a fluttering in your stomach that feels like a cautious butterfly dancing inside. These sensations often arrive quietly, without any clear reason or obvious cause. Sometimes, they come in the middle of a busy day or during a moment of stillness that invites attention. That slight ache, buzz, or warmth can seem like a whisper from your body, a language you may not have learned to fully understand yet. These feelings are windows, small doorways into your deeper self, asking to be seen and heard. What if these body signals are more than just random reactions? What if they are messages shaped by your inner wisdom, quietly guiding you through unseen paths? Our bodies hold memories and emotions that the mind alone cannot explain. When we feel nervous before a conversation or a sudden heaviness that makes us pause, that is our inner self trying to speak in a language older than words. It's rarely loud or demanding, but soft and persistent, offering gentle clarity about what is happening beneath the surface of daily thoughts and distractions. Listening to these signals can reveal truths about your needs, fears, or desires without needing to force an explanation. Can you remember a time when a subtle sensation nudged you toward a choice? Perhaps something you initially brushed aside, but later wished you had followed? This bodily language happens all the time, often before our minds fully catch up. It's like the heart feels the turning of the tide before the horizon visibly shifts. Becoming curious about these sensations invites you to pause and ask, what might my body be trying to tell me right now? This question opens a quiet space where intuition and feeling meet, gently reminding you that you are more than thoughts and plans. You are a living, sensing being with your own inner compass. Next time you notice a sensation, whether it is a flutter, a tightness, or a warmth, try to slow down and simply observe it without judgment. Notice where it lives in your body and how it changes as you breathe. You might find it helpful to close your eyes, place a hand over the area, and sit with the feeling as if it were a guest. Ask softly, what is this sensation connected to? What does it want me to know? Journaling about what you feel can also make these silent messages clearer, allowing them to unfold in your own words over time. These small practices invite you to build a trusting relationship with your body's subtle wisdom, turning everyday sensations into guides for your well-being and inner clarity. The role of emotions as signposts to intuitive insights. Picture walking through a quiet forest just as the sun begins to set. Soft lights sparkle along narrow trails, each one leading somewhere unique. Emotions act the same way, bright signals lighting the way, helping us see what lies ahead. They aren't loud or intrusive, but subtle glow that shows us where to turn or stay still. When we pay attention to these feelings, they become gentle lanterns that help us navigate the darkening woods of our inner world. Each emotion, whether a flicker of joy or a shadow of worry, points us toward what we need to notice and understand about ourselves. Recognizing these signs transforms our emotional experience from confusion into clarity. Many of us have learned to see feelings as temporary sensations or confusing voices that get in the way of clear thinking. But in truth, they are the language of a part of us that knows more than our conscious mind often does, our inner wisdom. Sometimes, a tight chest or a gut feeling signals that something is off, even if we can't articulate it yet. Other times, a warm glow of happiness signals we're on the right path. These emotional cues act like signals on a dashboard, guiding us toward trust when things feel right and caution when they don't. Recognizing this language allows us to listen to our deeper self rather than dismissing emotions as just fleeting moods. When we start to see feelings as messages from within, we harness a guide that always points us toward staying authentic and feeling safe. Think back. Have you ever ignored that uneasy feeling before making a decision, only to realize later that it was steering you away from trouble? Or have you ever felt a sudden burst of inspiration without knowing why? These moments are clues from your inner voice. Emotions can serve as trustworthy messengers if we learn to interpret their signals clearly. Trusting feelings, especially the quiet ones, can open doors to insights that the logical mind might miss or dismiss. By honoring the authenticity of your emotional responses, you begin to develop a clearer sense of intuition that grows stronger with each attentive listen. One quiet way to strengthen your relationship with your feelings is to set a small daily practice. Take a minute or two at some point in your day to simply notice what you're experiencing inside, whether a flutter, a heaviness, or a calmness. Instead of trying to change or label it right away, just observe. Notice where in your body you feel certain emotions, perhaps a warmth in your chest or a tension in your shoulders. Over time, this simple habit helps you tune into the natural flow of your feelings, turning fleeting sensations into trustworthy companions. As you grow more familiar with your emotional landscape, signals become clearer. You begin to see feelings not as obstacles or distractions, but as signposts guiding your journey inward. Sometimes just asking yourself, "What am I feeling right now?" and giving yourself permission to feel without fixing or judging can open a window into your deeper truth. It's not about controlling emotions, but about creating space for them. Your feelings often carry the wisdom you need, if only you decide to listen. The more you practice this gentle awareness, the more your intuitive insights will blossom from small, quiet whispers into guiding stars shining through every moment. Visual and imagery-based cues. How your mind communicates beyond words. Imagine a serene forest at dawn. The first rays of sun peek through the tall trees, gently illuminating intricate patterns on the leaves. Each beam of light reveals hidden details unnoticed in the darkness, much like the messages our mind conveys beyond the spoken word. In this quiet moment, nature offers us a glimpse into the ways our subconscious communicates through vivid symbols, colors, and imagery. Just as the forest holds whispers of life, our thoughts are rich tapestries woven with images that express feelings and insights unbound by language. Our mind translates internal messages into colorful imagery, dreams, flashes of insight, and symbolic visions. These images communicate emotions and thoughts that words often fail to capture. When we dream, our subconscious presents scenes that can feel so real, spilling out meanings that only we can decipher. Have you ever awoken from a dream filled with vibrant colors and odd symbols, only to find the truth of those images lingering in your mind long after? This is the language of our deeper self speaking, surpassing the limits of logic and analytical thought. These intuitive images often emerge in moments of quiet reflection, providing insight that guides us in making choices. Picture yourself in a moment of uncertainty. Have you ever felt a flash of clarity or an image pop into your mind that seemed to answer your questions? Perhaps it was a serene image of a beach, reminding you of peace, or a dense forest, encouraging you to explore. Such intuitive flashes can serve as guiding lights, offering reassurance and direction without any accompanying words. Consider the ways in which you receive images throughout your day. What catches your attention? Is it a sunset that makes you pause or a scene from nature that draws you in? These visual cues are a form of communication, inviting your inner self to take notice and connect with the deeper meanings behind them. Next time you find yourself reflecting on a feeling or decision, pause and allow these visual impressions to surface, be it in the form of daydreams, fleeting thoughts, or gentle flashes that appear in the corners of your mind. To deepen your connection with these visual cues, try a simple exercise. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths, allowing your thoughts to settle. Then, picture a vivid image that comes to mind, whether it's a landscape, an object, or a color. Let it unfold and reveal itself to you, inviting your emotions and thoughts to emerge without judgment. Reflect on what this image might be telling you. How does it feel? What stories does it hint at? This practice can help awaken your intuition, making it easier to recognize the subtle messages that your mind and heart are always communicating. Visual communication is a powerful tool. It transcends words, allowing our inner wisdom to shine through even the simplest thoughts. When we attune ourselves to these visual cues, we learn to listen to the whispers of our own experience. They become companions on our journey, guiding us toward greater understanding and self-discovery. Developing awareness of subtle shifts in energy and presence. When you watch the surface of a still pond, you might notice how the smallest breeze sends ripples across the water, nearly invisible at first, but gradually drawing your attention. Nearby, the leaves on a tree sway gently, shifting just enough to catch the light differently before they settle again. These quiet changes in nature invite a kind of patience, a slow noticing that welcomes subtle movement without rushing to name it. In the same way, our inner world is alive with delicate shifts, tiny shifts in energy and presence that often go unnoticed because they speak in whispers rather than shouts. Becoming aware of these gentle changes within ourselves starts with tuning into sensations and feelings that usually fly under the radar. The body holds countless signals: a brief tightening in the chest, a soft warmth spreading through the belly, or a sudden stillness in the mind. These moments are the language of our deeper self, conveying messages beyond the words we speak or the obvious emotions we feel. When we learn to listen closely, we begin to recognize these subtle cues, like understanding the quiet before the weather changes or the pause between heartbeats. This awareness isn't about forcing insight, but simply noticing what is already happening around and inside us. Imagine checking in with your breath or posture several times during the day, simply observing without trying to change a thing. What does the ground beneath your feet feel like? Is your energy pulling inward or gently expanding? This kind of attention becomes a practice of presence, a regular invitation to come home to yourself. Over time, these quiet moments add up, sharpening your sensitivity to shifts in mood and energy before they become loud or disruptive. It's like sensing the first hint of rain in the air, a subtle change that prompts you to pause and prepare. Have you ever noticed how sometimes your body reacts before your mind catches on? Perhaps a flicker of tension that warns of stress or a soft glow that signals calm. Paying attention to these whispers helps bridge the space between what's happening on the surface and what lies beneath. Try this simple exercise. Close your eyes and take a few slow breaths, turning your attention inward. Notice any sensations, textures, or movements in your body without judgment. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the feeling of your breath or the subtle shifts in your posture. You don't need to do anything with these feelings. Just observe them as if watching the gentle sway of branches in the wind. Writing down what you notice after a few minutes can be helpful too. Over time, you might begin to map these subtleties, like noticing the changing seasons. Noticing not just the obvious signs, but the quiet moments that signal deeper change. This practice supports you in becoming a keen observer of your own energy, allowing you to respond more gracefully to the ebb and flow of life. Chapter 3. Seasonal Cycles and Their Reflection in Inner Guidance. Winter, embracing stillness and deep listening. The quiet hush of winter feels like a soft blanket wrapping the world in silence. As the days grow colder and darkness stretches longer, nature seems to slow down, inviting us to do the same. The little cracks and whispers of life beneath the snow remind us that even in stillness, there is movement and life waiting quietly to emerge. This season encourages us to lean into pauses, to listen not with our ears alone, but with our whole being, tuning into the subtle signals that often go unnoticed during busier times. Winter's stillness isn't empty. It's rich with opportunities to hear the soft voice of inner wisdom guiding us through the silence. In this deep quiet, we have the chance to reconnect with ourselves, learning to listen more attentively in a world that rarely stops moving. Through reflective pauses and gentle awareness, winter teaches us to trust the silent signals that surface when we allow ourselves to be still. It's in these quiet moments that the mind settles and the noise of everyday life begins to fade. When we slow down, we notice the smaller details, a feeling in the chest, a subtle shift in mood, a gentle intuition whispering from within. These signals are like faint tracks in fresh snow, easy to overlook if we rush past them. Paying close attention to our breath, sensations in the body, or even the quiet moments between thoughts helps us develop a deeper awareness. Winter's calm nudges us into a space where listening becomes an act of kindness to ourselves, inviting insights that often get lost in the busyness of warmer seasons. When we embrace these pauses, we create space for clarity and gentle guidance to show up naturally. Practicing stillness might mean sitting quietly by a window, watching snow fall without trying to control the scene. It could be taking a few deep breaths before moving through the day, or simply pausing mid-activity to notice what's happening inside. These small acts build a habit of awareness, training us to listen beyond words and surface impressions. Sometimes, the silence itself offers more guidance than words ever could, a whisper of knowing, an instinctual nudge, or a feeling of peace. Recognizing that these signals are always present encourages us to trust our own inner voice, especially in moments when life feels confusing or overwhelming. Winter's stillness isn't about forcing quiet. It's about allowing ourselves to be receptive, to notice what arises when we slow down and tune in. Over time, this deep listening becomes a gentle refuge, a space to find ourselves again amidst the quiet and cold. Spring, awakening curiosity and opening to new insights. Spring arrives with a breath of life, painting the world in shades of green and soft pastels. The snow melts, revealing the soil longing for warmth and growth. As crocuses and daffodils begin their brave ascent toward the sun, there are whispers in the air, secrets waiting to be uncovered. This season is not merely a shift in weather. It's a celebration of new beginnings. Just like the eager buds ready to bloom, we can awaken our inner curiosity, allowing ourselves to feel inspired by the potential that lies ahead. Each morning feels fresh, filled with possibilities and hidden gems, urging us to step outside and witness nature's art. You might see a bird building its nest with twigs and grasses, reminding you of your own dreams that are waiting to hatch. There is a profound connection between this awakening in nature and the rekindling of our inquisitive spirit. In this moment, curiosity can blossom, prompting us to seek out new experiences, ideas, and insights that enrich our lives. What if this season invited you to ask more questions? To seek answers not just from textbooks, but from everyday moments? Welcoming uncertainty can be daunting, but think of spring showers that nourish the earth. They make way for new growth, and in your life, uncertainty can foster intuition and insight. Allow yourself the grace to embrace the questions that linger in your mind, those moments where the answers aren't clear yet. What if you allowed yourself to play in this space of unknown instead of rushing to find clear solutions? The more you lean into curiosity, the more playful your mindset becomes. Remember that, like the budding flowers, you too have permission to unfold at your own pace, allowing your thoughts to wander as they may. Just take a moment and reflect. Can you recall a time when your curiosity led you somewhere unexpected? Perhaps it was a random conversation that sparked a new idea or a day trip that turned into an adventure. When you approach life with a sense of wonder, intuitive nudges begin to emerge, often from your gut. These whispers can offer profound insights that help guide your path. Are you listening to them? Embracing the playful and inquisitive mindset means tuning in to those inner sensations that prompt joy, interest, or even discomfort, recognizing them as valuable messengers. To nurture this curiosity and channel the beauty of spring, create rituals that invite reflection into your day. Set aside a few quiet moments, perhaps at dawn or dusk when the light dances gently through the trees. Grab a journal and write without judgment or white space, the clouds above, the sound of leaves rustling. Let your thoughts flow freely, capturing any whispers that arise as you clear your mind. Engage in simple exercises like mindful walking, where each step can become a conversation with nature, allowing it to inspire your thoughts and feelings. Ask yourself open-ended questions as you stroll. What do I truly desire? What sparks joy in my heart? This practice helps to awaken your intuition and welcomes those insights that may have been dormant. Let these moments linger with you. As spring unfolds its offerings, remember that curiosity is like the persistent sun breaking through clouds, waiting for the moment you choose to bask in its glow. Every answer, every insight, is a piece of the puzzle waiting to be fitted together, so take your time. Embrace the abundance of the season as an invitation to step into the mystery of possibility. Revisit your childlike wonder, where every observation held the promise of something more, inviting a rich tapestry of experiences into your life. Summer, harnessing energy and bold intuitive actions. Imagine standing at the peak of summer, where the sun blazes with unrestrained vitality, urging us to act with courage and clarity. The heat presses down, not as a weight, but as a call to move forward, to burn away doubt and hesitation. In this season, nature feels alive in the fullest sense. The leaves are lush, the days stretch long, and life pulses with vibrant intensity. This is a time when our intuition is like the sun itself, bright, undeniable, and demanding our attention. It reflects a fierce, radiant energy that wants us to step boldly into our desires and decisions. Summer's energy asks us to trust those moments when our inner voice grows loud and clear. It is the season of action rooted not in careful calculation, but in a spirited leap of faith. This is when spontaneity becomes a strength, when quick decisions can lead to unexpected joy or growth. Our intuition in summer isn't a quiet whisper, but a fiery nudge that pushes us to follow what feels right deep inside, even if the path isn't fully clear yet. Embracing that impulse can lead to a powerful momentum that changes everything. Have you noticed how in summer, the world encourages boldness simply by its presence? The long sunlight hours give you more time, the warmth energizes your body, and the slowing down of other parts of life lets your instincts take the lead. When was the last time you truly trusted a sudden urge to act without overthinking? What if those moments of boldness come from a well of wisdom beneath the surface, speaking through your gut or heart? Sometimes, the most meaningful choices come from those seemingly impulsive sparks that momentarily light up our inner world with clarity and excitement. One gentle way to connect with summer's energy is to give yourself permission to act on small, intuitive impulses each day. This might mean saying yes to an unexpected invitation, starting a project you've been hesitating on, or simply allowing yourself to follow your curiosity without overplanning. Notice how your body feels when you think about taking action. Does your chest open? Do you feel a sense of lightness or excitement? Journaling about these sensations can help you recognize and trust your inner guidance more easily. Let each small act of courage build confidence, like the sun gradually warming the earth after a cool night. The heat of summer carries a message. Courage is yours for the taking, and your intuition is ready to guide you boldly forward. When those fiery whispers rise inside, lean into them without fear. Take that step, reach for what calls you, and let your inner compass lead. The light is strong, your energy is high, and within that warmth lies the call to live more freely and fully today. Autumn, reflecting, harvesting, and integrating inner wisdom. The short days and cooler air of autumn bring a quiet pause in the year, like nature's gentle sign to slow down and look inward. As leaves fall and the landscape prepares for winter's rest, there's a natural invitation to reflect on what has happened and what lessons lie beneath the surface. This is a time to pause, to breathe, and to listen to the softer whispers of our inner world. The changing scenery reminds us that even as things appear to fade outwardly, within, there is a deep process of gathering and understanding taking place. This season invites us to harvest the insights we've gathered through the year, lessons learned, wounds healed, joys treasured, and to bring these into clearer focus. Just as farmers collect crops, we are called to gather what has matured inside us over months of experience. Reflecting on personal moments, challenges, and growth becomes a way to recognize the strength hidden within our struggles. It's a gentle process, one that encourages us to sit quietly with ourselves, holding the fullness of what we've discovered, nurturing a trust that our inner wisdom is always there, waiting quietly beneath the surface. Imagine yourself walking through a quiet forest, leaves crunching beneath your feet as you pause to reflect. Notice how the color shift in nature signals a transition, a time for letting go. Just like trees shed their leaves, we too can release old stories or burdens that no longer serve us, making space for new insights. As you begin to notice what comes up, perhaps memories, fears, or hopes, see them as part of a larger cycle of growth. The act of reflection becomes a sacred ritual, helping us make sense of our journey and honor the wisdom gained along the way. Taking time to journal or sit in solitude can deepen this process, turning internal awareness into clear understanding. Listening to ourselves during this season can be surprisingly simple. Ask quiet questions. What lessons am I holding on to? Where am I still resisting change? What parts of myself need reassurance or understanding? As you tune in, trust that even the small, subtle insights carry clues about your next step. Sometimes, the most meaningful truths come in moments of quiet listening, where the mind steps back and our true voice emerges. This practice isn't about forcing answers, but about gentle curiosity, allowing the mind and heart to settle into a space where inner guidance can surface naturally. To support this reflection, consider creating a simple space for yourself, a corner with a chair, some candles, or a cozy blanket, where you can settle in regularly. Use this time to write down thoughts, observe your feelings, or just sit in peaceful silence. Let your awareness expand beyond thoughts to include physical sensations, sounds, or even your breath. Over time, this gentle practice helps strengthen your connection with inner wisdom, like tending a small fire that warms your entire being. The more you listen without judgment, the clearer your inner voice will become, guiding you like a steady compass through changes ahead. Remember, inner wisdom isn't about grand revelations, but about honest glimpses and simple truths. Like the quiet comfort of a warm scarf on a chilly day, it's there, waiting patiently to be wrapped around you. This season, cultivate a habit of inward listening, trusting that what feels subtle or small holds the seeds of future growth. The whisper of your intuition may be gentle now, but it carries the promise of deeper understanding when you meet it with kindness and patience. Sometimes, just taking a moment to notice your breath or feeling the ground beneath your feet can be enough to reconnect with your inner voice. Simple acts like placing a hand on your heart or pausing before making decisions help tune you into the signals your gut or instinct provides. When you slow down and honor this natural process, you create space for clarity and confidence to grow. As autumn's quiet unfolds around you, let it remind you that the most profound wisdom often whispers softly within. Trust that, with gentle attention, your inner voice will guide you toward what truly matters in this season of letting go and gathering inside. Chapter 4. Cultivating Trust in Your Inner Voice. Overcoming Doubt and Self-Criticism. Building Confidence in Your Intuition. The moment you stand at the edge of a decision, doubt often creeps in like a shadow. It lingers and whispers questions that make you second-guess your thoughts. Perhaps you've felt a gentle nudge toward a certain choice, only to have a voice in your head telling you that you're not ready, that you'll fail. This inner dialogue creates a battle between your intuition and the harsh critic that lives within. The struggle is painful, and every flicker of uncertainty dims the glow of your self-trust. Imagine a garden where every seed of intuition struggles to sprout because of the weeds of doubt smothering them. How can you clear these weeds and let your inner voice flourish? Gentle practices can act as sunlight to your garden, cultivating the seeds waiting to grow. Start by giving yourself permission to feel doubt without judgment. Recognize that doubt is a natural part of being human. It does not define you. Try sitting quietly and closing your eyes, allowing your breath to flow easily. As you breathe in, envision yourself drawing in confidence. When you exhale, imagine releasing the negativity and self-criticism that holds you back. Journaling can also become a powerful tool during this process. Keep a notebook where you write down your fears alongside your dreams. Write about a situation where you didn't trust your instincts and reflect on what you learned. Over time, this practice will show you patterns in your thinking, helping you to dismantle negative beliefs. Have you ever paid attention to moments where you felt a powerful sense of knowing? Maybe it was a decision that turned out well despite your anxieties. These small victories can serve as reminders that your intuition holds wisdom. As you acknowledge these experiences, your mind begins to shift. It's about creating a safe space where your instincts can flourish without the sharp intrusion of criticism. Incorporate affirmations into your day. Simple phrases like, "I trust my instincts," or "I am capable and wise" can rewire the way you think. The effects won't be immediate, but with patience and self-compassion, you'll notice that your inner voice becomes clearer, allowing you to trust its whispers more freely. Consider this. Your intuition is like a friend who patiently awaits your attention. The more you listen, the more you learn to trust it. You might find that intuition speaks softly, and self-criticism often yells. Dismantling the yells requires practice and dedication. Surround yourself with supportive people who encourage your journey of self-discovery. They can offer perspectives different from your inner critic, reminding you of your strengths when you forget. Establishing a connection with nature can also be a grounding practice. Take walks outside, feeling the earth beneath your feet, and notice how the world around you mirrors your inner journey. Acknowledge your intuition as part of a larger self, one that learns and grows through each experience. In this journey, remember that every small step counts. As you build confidence in your intuition, celebrate your progress, however minute it may seem. Your intuitive voice deserves to be heard, and the more you nurture it, the louder it becomes. So, take a moment each day to cultivate self-kindness. Create rituals that help you stay attuned to your inner voice. Perhaps you spend 5 minutes each morning in reflection, or you end your day by noting one instance where you followed your intuition. These practices foster a deeper connection to yourself and the world around you. Trust is built gradually, like the rise of the sun each day. Each dawn brings the opportunity to listen anew. Your intuition is waiting for you to let it lead the way, creating rituals and practices for daily trust. Before the sun begins its daily journey, touch the quiet space within where trust takes root like a tiny seed beneath the soil. Imagine planting that seed gently each morning, setting a simple intention that invites trust to grow and stretch through your day. It's not about forcing confidence or certainty. Rather, it's the act of opening yourself to the possibility that the day will unfold in ways that support your well-being. The morning moment to set this intention might feel small at first, like the first breath of a new season. Yet, with each breath, the fragile seed of trust begins to stir, ready to push upward through whatever darkness or uncertainty might lie ahead. Trust grows quietly, often below the surface of conscious thought, much like roots that spread unseen before a tree blooms. Psychologically, this kind of trust is a gentle conversation between your conscious mind and the deeper layers that hold memory, intuition, and experience. When you invite trust each morning, you are speaking to these layers, reminding yourself that your inner world contains wisdom that can guide you no matter what. This practice taps into the brain's natural ability to pattern new ways of thinking and reacting, encouraging a softening of fear and doubt. In some spiritual traditions, this moment is seen as a blessing or quiet prayer, a way to align with something larger than ourselves without chasing certainty or control. Pause for a moment. How do you usually begin your day? Do you rush headlong into tasks and expectations, or do you allow space for your inner voice to whisper first? What would happen if you chose to begin with a trusting heart, even just for a few breaths? Could that gentle start ripple out into the choices and encounters ahead? Notice how it feels to consider the day as a place to nurture trust, a place where small seeds become steady roots through simple intention. Try this. Each morning, before you rise fully, close your eyes and take 3 slow breaths. With the first breath, say silently to yourself, "I plant trust here." With the second, imagine that seed growing beneath your skin, warm and steady. With the third, release worry and invite openness to what comes. Carry this intention quietly, like a soft song, and return to it whenever you sense uncertainty creeping in. Let trust be a gentle thread woven through your day, not a demand, but a promise you make to yourself. Trust is not a loud proclamation. It is a whisper that waits patiently. It is the seed you planted, quietly growing in the calm moments between your breaths. As the day flows forward, offering moments of noise and distraction, trust can feel fragile, as if shrinking under pressure. Yet, trust thrives when honored with gentle pauses and quiet attention. These daily practices are invitations to slow down and listen deeply, to notice the inner voice that often gets drowned out. A mindful pause might be as simple as stopping to feel the weight of your feet on the ground, a reminder that you are here and capable. It could be a moment to close your eyes and breathe fully, drawing soft attention inward. Each pause is a soft space where trust can catch its breath and remind you of your own presence and strength. Journaling creates a container for these whispers, a way to give your inner voice room to speak without interruption or judgment. Even a few lines about what you are feeling or sensing can become a sacred part of the day, a ritual that connects thoughts, intuition, and emotions. Writing doesn't have to be polished or perfect. It simply needs to be honest, a conversation where you nurture trust by witnessing your own unfolding. Quiet moments, such as sipping tea with awareness or stepping outside to feel the air on your skin, work like gentle anchors. They bring attention to the here and now, slowing mental chatter and inviting trust to move freely without the weight of expectation. Consider this. When was the last time you truly stopped to listen to yourself, to the world around you? What might change if you gave yourself space to feel, reflect, and rest each day? These pauses, though brief, honor the presence of inner guidance. They create trust not by forcing answers, but by allowing questions to rest peacefully for a while. It is in this quiet allowance that your inner compass can regain its strength and clarity. One way to begin is to find a moment each day, no matter how brief, just for gentle presence. It might be the first few minutes after waking, or a quiet break mid-afternoon. Ask yourself, what does my heart need right now? Listen without rushing to fix or change. Consider writing a few words about what arises. These small, kind acts are stitches in the fabric of trust, weaving together self-awareness, patience, and care. Over time, they build a daily garden where trust can grow naturally, sustained by your own attention and love. Trust is not forced. It is invited, nurtured in the quiet spaces where you choose to be present. These gentle practices remind you that your deepest guidance rests within, waiting only for your willingness to listen. Learning from missteps, when intuition seems off. Imagine walking through a dense forest where the path ahead feels suddenly unclear, the trees blocking your view. Sometimes our internal compass, that gut feeling or intuition, guides us in the same way, off the beaten track, leading us into confusing or even wrong turns. Reflecting on times when intuition led us astray reveals something important. Trusting ourselves isn't about perfection. It's about learning to recognize when our inner voice is truly wise and when it might be clouded by emotions, fears, or assumptions. Missteps become valuable lessons when we see them as signs that even our intuitive signals can sometimes be mistaken or incomplete, nudging us to slow down and reassess. Each mistake invites us to look more closely at how we listen, challenging the idea that intuition is always infallible. Instead, it becomes a gentle reminder that trusting ourselves involves patience, humility, and ongoing practice. If we accept that our inner sense can wobble, we're more likely to forgive ourselves and stay open to refining our understanding of what our gut really tells us. When you think back, have you ever felt a strong sense that something was right, yet it turned out badly? Maybe you ignored that quiet inner nudge, insisting that you knew better, only to find yourself in a situation you wished you'd avoided. These moments teach us that intuition isn't a perfect fortune teller, but a subtle whisper that sometimes gets lost among our fears or hopes. They show us that trusting ourselves doesn't mean ignoring doubt or uncertainty, but rather listening with care and curiosity. Sometimes the feeling telling us to go forward is actually a warning in disguise, and other times it's a genuine signal that just needs more time and space. Recognizing these differences takes practice, and it's often a matter of patience and gentle reflection. When our sense seems off, it's not proof that we've failed, but an opportunity to deepen our understanding, to tune in more softly and watch for the signs that come through in small, quieter moments. Practicing awareness can help us grow more comfortable with these missteps. One way is to pause before making a big decision, breathe gently, and ask ourselves what our inner voice is really trying to tell us. Is it a whisper of fear or a nudge of genuine instinct? Sometimes, simply writing down what we feel can make the difference, turning a fuzzy sense into clearer words. Another helpful step is considering past experiences. Looking back at moments when we followed our gut and things didn't turn out as hoped. What did we learn? Were there subtle clues we missed? Over time, paying closer attention to these moments sharpens our ability to distinguish between genuine guidance and fleeting emotion. Learning from missteps ultimately means trusting that every stumble, every wrong turn, is part of a bigger dance. One where we get better at listening, forgiving ourselves, and moving forward with more gentle awareness. Recognizing the signs of genuine inner guidance versus external noise. Imagine standing in a quiet forest where bird calls and rustling leaves whisper in harmony. This is the subtle language of true guidance versus the cacophony of external noise. Inner guidance often feels gentle and reassuring, like a soft breeze brushing against your skin. It invites you to lean in, to listen closely as it unfolds. External noise, on the other hand, can feel overwhelming, like a loud crowd in a busy market, drowning out your thoughts and feelings. Learning the difference between these two sounds can help you navigate your choices more clearly. This inner voice often emerges in moments of stillness or solitude, a whisper that nudges you towards a decision or highlights your true feelings. It is reflective, rooted in your personal experiences and beliefs. In contrast, external noise is often temporary, influenced by others' opinions or societal pressures. It can drown out your authentic self, leaving you feeling fragmented or lost. Think back. Have you ever ignored a quiet nudge, only to regret it later? Consider moments when you felt a strong pull towards something or someone, feeling certain in a way that you can't quite explain. What if that nudge was your deepest self trying to protect you? Reflecting on these experiences can illuminate patterns or messages you may have overlooked. Start by keeping a journal to document your feelings and thoughts when faced with important decisions. This practice can help clarify what's truly guiding you versus what external factors might be clouding your judgment. Pay attention to your feelings and physical sensations. When something resonates deeply with you, it might feel like warmth spreading through your chest or a sense of calm washing over you. This inner knowing often contrasts sharply with the anxiety that can accompany external noise. In moments of confusion, take a deep breath and ask yourself what truly feels right. Allow yourself the space to pause and listen to those gentle whispers. You might find that the quiet moments offer the most clarity, revealing truths hidden beneath the noise of daily life. Staying mindful of your surroundings and the influences you allow in can make a significant difference. Distractions like social media or constant news alerts can amplify external noise, leading to confusion or indecision. Start setting boundaries for yourself. Maybe designate certain times of day for digital detox, when you step away from devices and focus solely on your inner world. As you gradually tune out the external chatter, the soft echoes of your true self will become more pronounced, guiding your choices with increasing confidence. The whispers of inner guidance are not fragile. They wait for you to listen. Every time you choose to honor that gentle voice, you strengthen your connection to it. Finding moments of stillness can be like watering a plant. Over time, your intuition blossoms and becomes more robust. Remember that authentic guidance is often subtle, so nurture it carefully, allowing it space to grow amidst life's distractions. Chapter 5. Developing Sensory Attunement and Body Awareness. Mindful body scanning, tuning into physical responses. Imagine walking slowly through a forest in early autumn. The air is crisp, and a soft breeze stirs the golden leaves hanging from the branches. You notice one leaf in particular, turning gently in the wind, shifting colors from green to a warm amber. Your attention follows the leaf's subtle movement, observing how each flutter is connected to the breeze passing through the trees. This quiet, steady observation mirrors what a mindful body skin asks of you, moving gently through your own inner landscape and noticing each sensation as it arises, without rushing or judgment. Just like that leaf responds to an unseen wind, your body holds a story in every twitch, stretch, and pulse waiting to be listened to. When you bring your mind inward with curiosity, you start to tune into the subtle signals your body sends the moment tension creeps in or calm spreads through your chest. These sensations are messages showing how your mind and body connect, often long before thoughts chase each other through your head. Paying attention this way can feel like carrying a delicate conversation with yourself, where every small shift, an ache in your shoulder, warmth in your hands, a soft sigh escaping your lungs, invites a deeper understanding of your present experience. Accepting these feelings, even if they seem uncomfortable or vague, allows for a gentle kindness toward your own rhythms rather than pushing them away. Have you noticed how sometimes your breathing changes when worry pulls at the edges of your day? Or how your stomach tightens when excitement or nervousness swells? By simply bringing awareness to these physical changes, you practice a kind of listening that doesn't need to fix or change anything. Instead, it helps you recognize what's happening inside, as if you were noticing a shifting pattern in the wind or the slow turning of the seasons. This practice encourages a softness toward discomfort and a space where you can greet yourself just as you are, moment by moment. To begin this practice, find a comfortable position where you can sit quietly, eyes closed if you like, and start by bringing attention to your feet touching the ground. Feel the weight, the connection, how the floor supports you like earth holds a tree's roots. Slowly guide your awareness upward, gently sensing your ankles, calves, knees, and thighs, paying attention to any warmth, coolness, or tingling. Offer a silent invitation to your body to reveal what it feels without needing to name it or judge it as good or bad. Notice if your muscles relax or tighten, if any part feels heavy or light, or if there is a whisper of movement beneath your skin. This is your moment to listen closely, the way an artist might study the changing light on a landscape. As you move your attention along your body, let curiosity be your companion. Wonder what stories your breath can tell, from the rise and fall of your belly to the gentle expansion of your ribcage. If your mind wanders, simply guide it back to the physical sensations without frustration, like returning to the path after wandering in the woods. You might find that some areas feel neutral, while others hold more intensity. This is all part of the experience, no need to rush or analyze. The practice invites a slow, unfolding discovery of yourself, one segment of your body at a time, wrapped in acceptance and calm. A simple way to weave this awareness into daily life is to pause for a moment when you feel stress creeping in. Rather than pushing it aside, take a breath and ask inwardly where you feel the tension. You could notice a tightness near your shoulders or a quickening heartbeat. Then allow yourself to soften those areas through gentle breathing or slight movement. This small act of tuning in can anchor you back to the present and remind you that you carry within a natural wisdom, one that knows how to move, breathe, and settle even in the midst of challenge. Try carrying this mindset throughout your day. When your hand brushes against a cool surface or your feet press into the pavement, stop briefly and notice the sensation fully. Connecting to these little moments turns your body into a guide, helping you navigate the world with a fuller presence and deeper trust in yourself. You'll begin to realize that your body's signals are not interruptions, but invitations, quiet calls from within that ask only to be noticed and honored. Breathing techniques to ground and center your intuition. Imagine standing under a tall, comforting tree as a gentle breeze moves through its leaves. The wind isn't forceful, but soft and persistent, flowing with a quiet assurance. That same breath can become a source of calm and stability when you intentionally focus on it. When you breathe with awareness, your body feels more anchored, like roots sinking into the earth. This simple act transforms your inner landscape, making it easier to stay present instead of drifting off into worries or restless thoughts. Breathing gently in this way becomes a rhythmic anchor, grounding you as surely as the ground beneath your feet. Breathing isn't just about getting air in and out, it's a bridge to your inner self. When the mind feels overwhelmed or scattered, returning to your breath can help center your attention. You don't need to change how you breathe, just observe its natural flow. Notice the way your chest rises and falls, or the cooler sensation of air passing through your nostrils. Let that awareness create a quiet moment, an invitation to slow down and reconnect with what is happening inside. In these moments, breathing becomes a gentle reminder that even in chaos, there is a calm power waiting within. When you pause to breathe intentionally, picture the wind moving through the trees again. Each inhale is a breeze flowing into you, filling your lungs like fresh, cool air. Each exhale is a breeze leaving your body, taking tension with it. Feel how this rhythm supports your connection to the present. This simple practice helps quiet mental noise and brings your awareness to the subtle sensations of life unfolding inside. In time, your breath becomes a steady anchor, a way to stay grounded when everything around feels uncertain or out of focus. Calm, steady breath is a gift you can offer yourself anytime, whether you're sitting quietly, walking outside, or even in the midst of a busy moment. To start, take a slow, deep breath, filling the belly gently and then releasing it softly. Allow your attention to rest on this cycle, noticing how your body responds. Over a few breaths, you might feel your shoulders relax, your pulse slow down, and your mind settle. The wind that once stirred the trees now stirs a peaceful, clearer space within you. It's a simple act with profound results, a way to remind yourself that even amid chaos, your steady breath can carry you back home. Next time you feel unsettled or disconnected, imagine yourself as a sturdy tree swaying with the wind. Your breath is the breeze guiding your roots deeper into the earth, helping you stay upright and balanced. This visual can deepen your awareness and make your breathing feel natural, not forced. Keep in mind that this grounded stillness is always accessible, an inner oasis waiting to be rediscovered. The key is to let each breath bring your focus inward, anchoring you in the present moment and allowing your intuition to rise from this calmness like a quiet whisper in the wind. Using movement and posture to access inner clues. As the sun begins to set, the golden light filters through the trees, casting gentle shadows on the path. With each step you take, your feet find their rhythm, instinctively adjusting to the uneven ground. This natural dance of movement mirrors your inner landscape. The way you walk, how your shoulders roll back, or how your head tilts ever so slightly, all communicate unspoken messages about your emotional state. In those moments, you might notice a feeling of ease or tension in your body, clues informing you about your thoughts and feelings. Are you walking briskly, fueled by excitement, or do your footsteps drag, weighed down by worry? Each nuance reveals something about your inner world, serving as a reminder that your body is a wise guide, always reflecting what lies beneath the surface. Think of your body as a finely tuned instrument. Just as musicians adjust their posture for better sound quality, you too can use posture and movement as tools for self-discovery. Experiencing how your body responds to its surroundings helps create a deeper connection to your feelings and instincts. Take a moment to pay attention to how you carry yourself. Are you standing tall and confident, or are you huddled in? The way you engage with the world around you often grants insight into how you truly feel. Finding alignment in your posture can shift not only your physical presence, but also the energy you carry with you, enhancing your connection to the intuition that resides within. Try standing still for a moment and close your eyes. Bring your awareness to your feet, feeling how they connect with the ground. Notice whether your weight shifts more to one side or if you feel a sense of balance. This simple practice heightens your awareness of the sensations in your body, offering a window into your deeper thoughts. Are you feeling stable and grounded, or are there areas of tightness and restriction? As you begin to walk, pay attention to your breath and how it syncs with your movements. Each step becomes a gentle reminder of your presence in the moment, helping you to tune in to any subtle whispers from your intuition. Consider setting aside a few minutes each day for this awareness practice. Whether you're walking in nature or standing in your living room, bringing mindfulness to your posture can begin to unlock your body's shared wisdom. Ask yourself how you truly feel in that moment. Engage with the sensations that arise. Do your shoulders feel relaxed, or does tension creep in as you think about your day? Embracing these questions enhances your ability to distinguish between instinctual nudges and external influences. Listen deeply, and remember, your inner voice often presents itself in quiet ways, waiting for you to slow down and recognize its importance. Awareness is not merely an act of observation. It's an invitation to reconnect with yourself. Making time for these moments, no matter how brief, cultivates an intimacy with your body that can enrich your understanding of your emotions and intuition. When you harness this practice, even a simple stroll transforms into a journey of self-discovery, leading you back to your authentic self. Practicing sensory meditation to enhance inner perception. Imagine sitting quietly, your eyes closed, and feeling the gentle flow of life within you. There is a subtle melody playing inside, the quiet rhythm of your breath, the faint pulse of your heartbeat, the delicate weight of your body resting on the surface beneath you. This melody isn't loud or rushing. It unfolds slowly, like a soft breeze stirring leaves in early dawn. Attuning yourself to these small sensations is like tuning a finely crafted instrument, allowing you to hear parts of yourself often drowned out by the noise of daily life. This subtle listening invites you to shift your focus inward, nudging awareness away from thoughts and toward the body's quiet language. When you pause to notice the tender twitch of a finger or the faint pressure of a foot on the ground, your mind begins to soften and the space within grows wider. This gentle, patient attention is not about controlling or changing anything, but about gently noticing what is already present yet often ignored. Sensory meditation awakens this inner perception, creating a sacred form of silence inside, where deeper understanding can emerge. Taking time to sit with a simple sensory meditation can feel like uncovering a hidden doorway. Begin by bringing your attention to your breath, not to control it, but just to feel the natural rise and fall. Notice the air flowing in through your nostrils, the subtle temperature shifting as you exhale. Let this breathing become your anchor. Next, allow your awareness to extend to physical touch. Feel the fabric against your skin, the way your clothes hug or glide, the slight pressure where your body meets the chair or floor. Finally, soften into the surrounding sounds, not judging them or labeling them as good or bad, but simply hearing the gentle hum of existence around you. The distant chatter, a bird's call, the subtle rustling of a breeze outside a window. As you move through breath, touch, and sound, notice how your senses are offering continuous information about the present moment. This is where inner perception deepens. Your mind, which often leaps ahead or dwells in the past, finds a gentle rhythm of its own by following the current of sensory experience. With repeated practice, this mindfulness of sensation becomes like a quiet companion, quietly guiding you back home to your body and your inner world. This practice can help you understand when you're tense or relaxed, when emotions emerge, or when the mind seeks distraction. The more you attend to these signals, the richer your sense of self-awareness becomes. Try sitting comfortably, breathing naturally, and gently placing your attention on your breath, then moving slowly to notice the sensations of touch, and finally opening to the sounds around you. If your mind wanders, simply bring it back without judgment. This practice doesn't need to last long. Even a few minutes each day can start to awaken a deeper connection with yourself. Through this simple yet profound attentiveness, feelings and insights begin to arise quietly, like the soft turning of pages in a book you love. Your inner world becomes clearer, not because you force clarity, but because you patiently listen. Chapter 6. Creating a personal ritual for intuitive clarity. Designing a morning intuition ritual to set intentions. Imagine waking up just as the first rays of sunlight gently push aside the darkness, casting a soft glow over the world. In these quiet moments, everything feels still, almost sacred, like a gentle invitation to connect with what's inside. The air is cool and fresh, and the world begins to stir slowly, with no rush or noise. This sense of calm offers a perfect backdrop for turning inward, allowing your mind and body to align before the demands of the day take hold. It's like a small window of peace where you can tap into your own quiet wisdom, listening for the subtle whispers of your intuition. Creating a morning ritual doesn't need to be complicated. Sometimes, all it takes is a few deep breaths to anchor yourself in the present. Find a comfortable spot, sit quietly, and take a slow, deep breath in, then gently let it out. As you breathe, notice the sensation of air filling your lungs, and allow your thoughts to settle like leaves resting on still water. After a few breaths, pick a simple prompt, perhaps a question or a word that resonates, like "What do I need today?" or "What feels true?" Jot down a quick thought or feeling that arises, trusting that it's part of your inner guidance. Concluding the ritual with a gentle moment of gratitude can also deepen your connection, helping you enter the day with clarity and a sense of trust in your own instincts. This quiet morning space acts as a bridge to clarity, where your mind begins to clear away the noise of yesterday and tomorrow. When you start your day with this simple pause, your subconscious gets a chance to speak softly through your feelings, impressions, or sudden insights. Think about moments when a gut feeling guided you right, or when a quiet voice nudged you to change course. That inner voice is often most available when your mind isn't overwhelmed by chaos or distraction. Trusting these small signals grows stronger over time, making it easier to recognize your intuition in everyday life. A gentle practice like this helps you set the tone, not just for the day, but for a deeper connection to your own inner wisdom. Using journaling as a dialogue with your inner self. Picture this moment. You are seated in a quiet place, pen in hand, and a blank page stretches before you, waiting to be filled. Every stroke of the pen invites thoughts and feelings to flow freely, creating a connection that fosters understanding. In this intimate space, you can express your joys, fears, and dreams without judgment or interruption. Journaling becomes a trusted companion, guiding you to explore the layers of your inner world. As you write, you might notice that your thoughts begin to shift. Ideas that felt tangled in your head start to organize themselves on the page. You might stumble upon hidden emotions or insights that gently surface, waiting for acknowledgement. This is not just about recounting daily events or expressing frustrations. It is about engaging in a deeper dialogue. It's a way to honestly check in with yourself, nurturing a loving connection with your own voice. Journaling allows you to cultivate awareness, curiosity, and appreciation for who you are at this moment in time. Consider setting aside a few moments each day, perhaps in the morning with a cup of tea or in the evening while the world quiets down. Let the questions arise naturally. What am I feeling today? Or what do I need to express? Begin with simple prompts that resonate with you, allowing the writing to flow freely without the pressure of perfection. Remember, the goal is not to create a masterpiece, but to honor your thoughts and feelings. To deepen this practice, you might want to experiment with different styles. Try stream of consciousness writing, where you let your thoughts spill onto the page without editing. Or consider gratitude journaling, where you focus on the positive aspects of your day. No prompting is necessary. Just follow your heart and let the ink guide you. Over time, you will begin to notice patterns, themes, or even unresolved feelings that surface during your writing sessions. These moments can reveal connections to your intuition, helping you become more in tune with your inner self. As you continue this practice, reflect on your journey. Have you encountered insight or clarity through your words? The essence of this journaling experience is connection, recognizing the conversations you are having with yourself. Let this be a space where you feel safe exploring your thoughts and emotions, paving the way for greater self-awareness. Cherish the moments where you might find a new perspective or a memory that brings joy or healing. Approach this with kindness towards yourself, allowing your intuition to unfold naturally. After each journaling session, take a moment to pause and breathe. You might find it helpful to reread what you've written, reflecting on any insights you gained. Even if you don't fully understand your feelings at first, give yourself space to grow into them. The more you practice this dialogue, the more you'll discover the richness of your inner landscape. This doesn't have to feel overwhelming. It can be gentle and intuitive, like a stroll through familiar woods. To help you stay engaged, consider setting reminders or creating a ritual around your journaling practice. Perhaps lighting a candle to mark the beginning of your writing session or choosing a cozy corner that invites reflection. The little things can create an atmosphere that feels special, reinforcing the importance of this dialogue with your inner self. Explore the methods that feel good and resonate with you, trusting that this is your personal journey. The whisper of your inner self is waiting for you, patiently waiting for your attention and understanding. Creating this dialogue through journaling transforms not only how you view your thoughts, but also how you connect with your own heart. When you reach for your pen and paper, remember, you are not just writing, you are uncovering the layers of who you truly are. Visualization practices to clarify inner guidance. Imagine sitting in a quiet room, the soft glow of a single candle flickering gently before you. The light dances slowly, casting tiny shadows that shift with every breath you take. This scene, simple and still, becomes a mirror for your mind, a place where distractions fall away and something deeper begins to speak. Like watching that flame, your inner guidance often appears subtle, quiet, and easy to miss unless you give it your full attention. In the calmness of this moment, clarity emerges not through noise or force, but through gentle presence and the willingness to simply look and listen. Your intuition and inner wisdom often feel like that flickering candlelight, steady even when the world around you is not. Sometimes it's the softest nudge or the faintest glow in the background of your thoughts that reveals the path forward. This practice of visualization invites you to create a mental space that feels safe and peaceful, one where the voice inside can come forward without interference. The mind can quiet itself here, allowing feelings, images, or gentle knowing to surface naturally, like the light that fills the dark and reveals what was hidden. Take a moment to picture a place that feels clear and comforting to you. Perhaps it's a quiet forest clearing, the edge of a calm lake, or the center of a sunlit room. This place is yours alone, a mental refuge where your inner guide waits patiently. As you visit this space again and again, it becomes easier to tune into the subtle signals your heart sends. This simple act of returning to a personal symbol or place creates a strong link between your conscious mind and your deeper self. No matter what chaos or confusion swirls outside, you can find your way back, steady and centered. Imagine this serene place as a seed planted in your mind. Each time you take a few moments to breathe into this calm scene, the seed grows stronger, its roots digging deeper into your awareness. Over time, your visits become like conversations with a trusted friend, where answers unfold with gentle patience. You might notice shifts in how problems feel lighter or how choices come with a quiet clarity that surprises you. The more often you come here, the clearer your inner guidance becomes, like the candle growing brighter as you shield it from the wind. Have you ever felt a soft whisper inside that didn't quite make sense at first, but later proved true? Your visualization practice encourages you to honor those moments, to give them space instead of ignoring or doubting them. By regularly stepping into this calm mental space, you create a habit of listening, which builds trust in your own wisdom. It's not about forcing answers. It's about opening the door and waiting for the truth to pass through. This gentle practice is a way of remembering that clarity lives within you, waiting patiently to be seen and heard. Start by setting aside a few minutes each day to gently close your eyes and bring yourself to your special mental place. Picture the details with care, the colors, sounds, even the scents that belong here. Notice how your body feels as you settle into this space. Let the quietness of the scene ripple through your thoughts until the flicker of your inner candle becomes bright enough to guide you. In these moments, ask yourself quietly what you most need to hear, and trust that the answer will come in its own time and form. This simple habit, practiced with patience, is a doorway to the deep knowing that you carry inside every day. Developing a sacred space that invites inner wisdom. Imagine walking into a quiet corner of your home, a place where everything feels just right, calm, safe, and still. This space might be a cozy chair by a window, a small altar on a shelf, or even a spot in your garden. It's a place you create intentionally, filled with elements that soothe your mind and encourage quiet reflection. Within this space, you can listen to that gentle voice inside, the whisper of your intuition that often gets drowned out by noise and hurried days. It's not about perfection or grandiosity. It's about making a small sanctuary where your inner self can relax and be heard. Just like a bird finds a branch to rest on or a stream finds its path, this space becomes your personal channel to inner wisdom. Transforming this sacred space into a living altar of trust involves simple rituals that deepen your connection to yourself. Light a candle to mark a moment of intention, or place objects that hold meaning. Perhaps a smooth stone, a feather, or a photo that reminds you of a peaceful place. You might recite a gentle affirmation, such as "I trust my inner voice," or "I am open to guidance." These actions do not need to be elaborate. They serve as gentle anchors that remind you of your commitment to listening inward. Over time, your space begins to hold more than just objects. It becomes a place that welcomes your authentic responses and nurtures your confidence in your own knowing. Each small act plants a seed, encouraging a habit of openness and trust in your inner guidance. As you sit in your sacred nook, notice how your breathing slows and your mind starts to soften. You're giving yourself permission to hear without judgment or expectation. Think about how this space can be a retreat from daily chaos or a pause button in busy moments. When you light that candle or arrange your objects, ask yourself, how do I want to feel when I visit this space? What guidance am I seeking today? Allow this question to linger gently, without forcing answers. Sometimes, the quietest moments bring the clearest insights. Practice setting aside a few minutes here regularly, knowing that this corner isn't just a physical place, but a sanctuary where your inner voice can grow stronger. With patience and consistency, Your sacred space will become a trusted partner in your journey inward. To make this space truly yours, remember that it's less about doing everything right and more about sensing what feels right for you. Use natural elements like stones, shells, plants, or feathers, things that connect you to the earth and its rhythms. Include objects that evoke feelings of safety and calm, such as a soft cloth, a piece of poetry, or a favorite crystal. Keep the space simple so it doesn't become cluttered or overwhelming. Over time, notice if certain objects or colors seem to draw you or offer comfort. This attunes your awareness to your preferences and helps your subconscious understand that this is a special place for your inner growth. The goal is not to create a perfect altar, but a genuine refuge that invites your inner wisdom to surface naturally and without effort. Remember, this sacred space is a mirror of your inner world. As you cultivate it, you also deepen your trust in what you feel and sense. Sometimes, just lighting a candle and taking a few slow breaths in this space can open channels to intuition. It's where your mind can settle and your heart can listen. Keep in mind that your creative touches and simple rituals are acts of kindness toward yourself, small yet powerful ways to honor your inner voice. Over time, this space will remind you that your deepest wisdom is always present, waiting patiently in the quiet corners of your life. What begins as a simple setup can become a vital anchor, guiding you through uncertainty and helping you reconnect with your inner knowing whenever you need it. One practical tip: choose a specific time each day or week to sit quietly in your sacred space. Even just 5 minutes of focused presence can build a habit of trust. During this time, allow yourself to observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Let your attention drift to the objects or the gentle flame of a candle. Ask yourself a simple question: what do I need to hear today? Let your mind be open and see what response arises naturally. The more you honor this small yet sacred ritual, the more your inner guidance will feel like a friendly voice you can always turn to. With patience, this space becomes a doorway to your own deep well of wisdom, always ready to support you when you pause and listen. Chapter 7. Navigating Uncertainty and Fear in Your Inner Journey. Recognizing fear as a signal, not a barrier. The morning fog wraps around the trees like a gentle hug, blurring the line between what is seen and what lies beyond. In these quiet moments, the world seems mysterious, and similar feelings often emerge with fear. Fear can feel like a shadow lurking close, making everything appear uncertain. Instead of viewing fear as a barrier stopping us in our tracks, it can be seen as a signal gently urging us to pause and reflect. It calls for our attention, hinting at something deeper, perhaps something we need to understand or address. When we experience fear, our instincts kick in, suggesting a need for caution. Yet, it's essential to recognize that not all fear is meant to keep us safe from harm. Often, fear can guide us toward growth and insight. For instance, think of the first time you stepped onto a stage or spoke in front of a crowd. The initial wave of fear might have felt overwhelming. However, that fear was merely hinting at the importance of the moment. It suggests you care about the outcome, indicating that this experience matters to you. Embracing it instead of running away from it opens doors to new opportunities and personal growth. Looking at fear through a psychological lens reveals that our brains and bodies react to perceived threats. This response can feel intense. It might prompt us to flee or freeze. Yet, it can also function as a beacon. Listening to these feelings, especially when they stem from something unfamiliar, helps us distinguish between true danger and mere discomfort. The subtleties of these signals are worth examining. Learning to trust our inner feelings builds a stronger connection with ourselves, allowing our intuition to guide us like a compass through foggy paths. Reflect for a moment on past experiences. Have you ever felt that tightness in your chest before making a big decision? Recognizing this sensation as feedback rather than a stop sign can shift your perception. Has it ever led you astray? Or have you found that confronting it often leads to new discoveries? By shifting how we perceive fear, we start to develop a healthy relationship with it. It teaches us to pause and inquire. What is my fear trying to reveal? What potential opportunity might be hidden behind this discomfort? This is where the power of reflection comes into play. Journaling can be a wonderful practice for processing fear. Take a few minutes each day to write down what you fear most. Observe how these fears evolve over time. Are they consistent, or do they shift? What patterns emerge? By acknowledging these emotions, we give ourselves permission to explore them without judgment. This makes fear a collaborator instead of an adversary. It invites curiosity into our lives, opening spaces for dialogue with ourselves. As you navigate your own fears, consider simple exercises to help you lean into them. When you feel a fearful sensation, rather than retreating, breathe deeply and check in with your emotions. Speak gently to yourself. What am I afraid of right now? And is this fear protecting me, or is it just my mind creating barriers? This approach encourages openness and may yield meaningful insights about what truly matters to you. Ultimately, fear presents itself as a complex yet profound aspect of our human experience. Rather than viewing it as an obstacle to overcome, welcome it as an invitation to reflect and understand. With time and practice, fear can become a trusted guide, encouraging us to navigate life more authentically. The next time you encounter fear, remember that what lies behind the fog is often clarity waiting to be uncovered. Techniques for grounding during inner confusion. Imagine a solitary tree standing tall in the midst of a wild storm. The wind swirls furiously around it, tossing branches and shaking loose leaves, but the roots dig deep into the earth, holding the tree in place. No matter how chaotic the sky becomes, the tree remains anchored, steady, and calm at its core. This image mirrors what happens inside us when thoughts swirl in confusion and emotions whirl like a storm. Our inner world can feel just as unsettled, yet we have the ability to root ourselves in a steady place, even when everything inside feels loud and confusing. The tree does not fight the storm. It simply holds itself firm in the soil beneath, waiting for the winds to pass. So too, grounding is the quiet practice of finding that steady center within ourselves when the mind and heart grow wild. This rootedness comes not from pushing away the confusion, but by allowing ourselves to be present with the noise without losing touch with what holds us steady. It's like noticing the storm outside through a window, while consciously feeling the solid floor under your feet. When inner chaos erupts, whether from fear, uncertainty, or overwhelming decisions, the temptation is to lose ourselves in the storm. Yet the steady parts of us, like the roots of the tree, can bring us back. Grounding is that gentle pull inward, a way to reconnect with calm and clarity beneath the swirl. During moments of inner confusion, the first step to finding calm is often turning toward your breath. Breath awareness is simple but powerful. Just notice the air moving in and out, no need to change it. Feel the rise and fall of your chest or the sensation of cool air entering the nostrils. This tiny focus can anchor the mind, pulling it from scattered thoughts back to the present moment. It's a reminder that you are here, alive and safe, even if things feel tangled inside. Another gentle way to ground yourself is through sensory touch. Sometimes, confusion arises when we feel disconnected from the body. Bringing attention to physical sensations can create a bridge back to stability. Try placing your hands softly on your lap or feeling the texture of an object nearby, a smooth stone, a soft fabric, or the warmth of a mug. These simple touches remind the brain that the body is real and present, quieting the mental storm. The sensory world offers clues to calm that can't be overlooked during confusion. Visualization can offer a quiet refuge, especially when your thoughts loop endlessly. Imagine the roots of that tree again, growing deep into the earth, holding steady. Picture yourself as the tree, with strong roots digging past rocks and soil, grounding you. Or imagine a gentle light at your core, spreading warmth and stillness throughout your body. These images can soothe the mind and bring a sense of safety. Visualization acts as a gentle nudge to trust your inner compass, the natural guide within you that knows how to find balance. Trust in yourself is a key companion to grounding. When confusion strikes, it can feel like your inner guidance is lost in a fog. Remember that your inner compass is always present, even if its signals seem faint or unclear. It speaks through subtle sensations, quiet feelings, or brief moments of knowing that might slip past if you move too fast. Grounding techniques help you listen more closely to these whispers, building confidence that you can navigate even when clarity seems scarce. With repeated practice, this trust grows stronger, transforming confusion from a place of fear to a place of possibility. Next time confusion tightens its grip, pause and breathe. Let your awareness settle on something you can touch, feel the texture and temperature. Close your eyes and see the roots reaching down, holding you steady. Through these small acts, you remind yourself that stability is not something outside to be found, but a home inside waiting to welcome you back. Reframing doubt as a growth opportunity. Imagine standing in a dense fog, unable to see beyond a few steps ahead. Doubt can feel just like that fog, swirling around, making everything uncertain. Sometimes, it shows up suddenly after clear skies, bringing a storm of questions that shake your confidence. Yet, within this cloud of doubt, there's a quiet whisper inviting you to look closer. It's as if doubt isn't just an obstacle, but a gentle signal that something inside is stirring, asking for your attention. When doubts arrive, they don't have to scream. They can serve as a gentle nudge, a moment to pause and listen inward. This is when doubts become less like enemies and more like guides, quietly pointing to areas where growth is waiting to happen. When we face doubt, it often feels like a storm in the mind, chaotic, unpredictable, and loud. But storms also pass. What if instead of fighting the wind and rain, we took a moment to notice what each gust is telling us? Doubts might be uncomfortable, but they hold an invitation to learn, to reflect, to understand ourselves better. Think of doubt as a portal, leading to hidden corners of your mind and heart that are craving attention. If you can see doubt not as a sign of weakness, but as an opening for discovery, your inner journey gains a new rhythm, one that encourages curiosity instead of fear. This shift turns what once felt like a barrier into an entryway for deeper insight and self-connection. And so, each time doubt arises, instead of shutting it out or rushing through, try to see it as a part of your unfolding story. Every question, every hesitation is an opportunity in disguise. Maybe you question a decision because your soul is nudging you towards authenticity, or perhaps doubts about your abilities reveal a desire to grow stronger in a new area. When doubts come knocking, welcome them gently. Sit with them, listen to what they are really asking. You might discover that the fear you feel is just a surface layer, hiding a deeper wish to connect with your true self. With patience, doubt can transform into a small, wise voice that guides you toward areas of your life waiting for your attention and care. Taking time to notice your doubts without immediately trying to fix or dismiss them allows a new kind of conversation to emerge. Try pausing and asking yourself, what is this doubt showing me about what I value most? Or where in my life does this doubt point to something I've been avoiding? Such questions turn doubt into a mirror, reflecting parts of yourself that may need reassurance or clarity. Over time, this practice strengthens your trust in your inner voice, making doubt less intimidating and more a familiar teacher that guides your growth. Remember, the storm might be loud, but beneath it lies a quiet, persistent calling, an invitation to grow beyond what you thought was possible. If you want to start recognizing doubt as a growth opportunity, begin with small practices. When doubt shows up, breathe gently and ask yourself what it might be teaching you today. Journaling about your feelings can help uncover hidden beliefs or fears that doubt brings to light. You might even write down questions that arise from doubt and wait patiently for subtle answers to surface over time. These small acts help you build a trusting relationship with doubt itself, transforming it from an adversary into a wise, steady presence on your journey. With every encounter, you remind yourself that doubt is a temporary visitor, one that can deepen your understanding and bring you closer to your inner truth. The more you listen, the more you realize that doubt isn't an enemy at all, but an essential part of your growth. The whisper of doubt is not fragile. It simply waits for your listening. It's a reminder that beneath the storm, there is a calm voice always ready to guide you back home, to yourself. Trusting the process when outer results are slow. Patience can be particularly challenging when you're waiting for something to materialize. Think of a seed planted deep in the earth. Underneath layers of soil and winter frost, it quietly germinates, unseen yet gradually unfolding its potential. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean nothing is happening. This is much like our own pursuits. Results often take time, and trust is what helps us endure that waiting period. The process isn't always flashy. It's the slow, often tedious work beneath the surface that lays the foundation for future growth. Surrendering to this natural rhythm can be freeing. When we allow ourselves to step back and embrace the fact that growth takes time, we begin to cultivate a deeper trust in the process. Rather than feeling anxious and restless, you can nurture a sense of calm. Recognizing that each moment of waiting can lead to a fruitful outcome opens the door to mindfulness. This isn't about ignoring your feelings. Instead, it's about gently reassuring yourself that patience is a part of the journey. Remember, just as winter serves a purpose for the seed, so too does this time of waiting work for you. When you gift yourself the grace of acceptance, you allow space for growth and inner peace. Consider how often you felt pressure to rush or force a result. Reflect on the moments when you simply did not receive what you hoped for right away. Did it discourage you, or did you find a way to use that time wisely? Perhaps you engaged in activities that fed your soul or expanded your understanding. Trusting that something beautiful is coming, even while nothing seems to be happening, can shift your mindset. You might want to spend a few moments writing down or thinking about areas in your life where you practice or have practiced patience. How did that waiting make you feel? What helped you sustain your trust in the process? Next time you find yourself caught in the web of impatience, take a moment to breathe and observe. Let your inner voice reassure you, and find a simple exercise that resonates with you. This could be taking a mindful walk, engaging in a few minutes of meditation, or simply sitting in silence while focusing on your breath. Each small action reinforces your connection to the process and enhances your capacity for patience. Trust is not fragile and does not vanish with time. Just like the seed that waits beneath the surface, what you seek is being nurtured in its own time. Allow yourself to embrace this waiting period. It's all part of the growth cycle. Your awareness and intentional action during these slower moments are what will nourish your personal journey, calling forth the bloom when the time is right. Chapter 8. Practical Tools for Enhancing Intuitive Skills. Dream journaling and interpreting symbolic messages. There is something quietly majestic about a peaceful night sky, where stars flicker softly and the world slows down into a gentle hush. In those still moments, dreams arrive like whispers from a hidden place within us, carrying secrets waiting to be heard. These messages drift in through the veil of sleep, nudging us with images, emotions, or scenes that might seem strange or surprising at first glance. They invite us to pause, to look closer, and to open ourselves to the subtle language of the subconscious. Dreaming is not just a random flicker of the mind, but a tender conversation with our deeper self, a dialogue that can reveal hidden fears, hopes, and insights that daytime thinking often misses. Writing down these nocturnal stories can turn that quiet night sky into a map, a guide to understanding the symbols and emotions woven into our dreams. When we gently reflect on what has appeared in our sleep, we begin to notice patterns and feelings that speak to parts of ourselves we might not fully grasp yet. Dreams speak in images, metaphors, and symbols that draw from our memories, experiences, and intuition, often layering meaning beneath the surface of the familiar. By paying attention and capturing what we see and feel, we start to weave a thread between our waking and sleeping minds, enhancing our ability to listen to the messages that emerge naturally. This practice deepens not just our self-awareness, but can bring unexpected clarity to everyday decisions and inner challenges. Have you ever woken feeling as though a dream had something important to tell you, even if the details seemed fuzzy or confusing? Sometimes the symbols feel puzzling, like a language we half understand, but can't quite speak fluently. Dream journaling invites us to sit with those fragments without rushing to resolve them, allowing insights to grow in their own time. Reflecting on your dreams with patience can reveal how certain colors, places, or people might represent aspects of your life, emotions you might be avoiding, or desires you haven't yet acknowledged. When you write your dreams down first thing in the morning, before the images slip away, you create a living record that over time becomes clearer and richer. This rhythm of noting, sitting with, and gently interpreting invites a quiet trust in your inner wisdom. Try to approach your dream journal not as a task, but as a soft ritual, a moment of tenderness for yourself. There is no need to master or judge the experience. Instead, let your curiosity lead you. When you look at a dream symbol, ask yourself what that image feels like rather than what it means. Does the sight of water bring a wave of calm or unease? Does a recurring animal remind you of a specific feeling or memory? Moving slowly through these impressions helps the symbolic language begin to feel familiar, almost like an old friend returning to say something meaningful. Even a short entry, repeated consistently, builds a conversation between you and your deeper mind, helping to translate the mysterious into something that touches your everyday life. Remember, your dreams are a mirror held up to your own unfolding story. The symbols they offer do not come from a fixed dictionary, but from the rich, personal landscape of your own inner world. When you write about your dreams regularly, you are not only preserving fleeting moments, but inviting your intuition to grow stronger. Each recorded image becomes a seed, planted in your awareness, where understanding can blossom gently over time. Divination and synchronicities as confirmation. Imagine walking through a quiet forest, when suddenly, a bird sings a tune that feels just right for the moment you're facing a decision. That song, seemingly out of nowhere, might catch your attention and spark a realization that your path is clear. These moments aren't just coincidences, but subtle messages from an unseen world, whispering that you're on the right track. Sometimes, unexpected encounters, a book falling open to a meaningful page or a chance meeting, serve as signs that confirm what your intuition has been hinting at all along. They act like gentle nods from life, reassuring us that we're aligned with something greater than ourselves, if only we're paying attention. These meaningful synchronizations, called synchronicities, are like cosmic nods, guiding us through the tangled web of daily life. They often appear just when we need clarity, breaking through noise and doubt. For example, dreaming of a certain symbol or number and then seeing it repeatedly in the day can feel like a nudge from the universe, urging us to trust our inner voice. Recognizing these signs requires awareness, a quiet observing that invites our subconscious to speak. When we notice the recurring themes or symbols, we're creating a dialogue with our inner selves, slowly building trust in these quiet confirmations as genuine guidance. What if, instead of dismissing these moments as mere chance, we embrace them as part of a larger conversation? Over time, paying attention to signs can help us develop a new sense of confidence in our intuitive instincts. A small example might be feeling a sudden urge to call someone, only to discover they were thinking of us at the same moment, or hearing a phrase that perfectly encapsulates what we've been struggling to understand. These small, everyday signs can turn into guiding lights, gently steering us away from doubt and into a more trusting relationship with our inner wisdom. One practical way to deepen this awareness is to keep a simple journal close by. Whenever you notice a sign or synchronicity, jot down what happened, how you felt, and what it might mean. Over time, patterns can emerge, repeated symbols, themes, or feelings that strengthen your ability to recognize genuine messages from life. By valuing these moments, you begin to see that they aren't random, but part of a meaningful language that your inner self or the universe is using to communicate. The more attentive you become, the clearer these signs will appear, transforming from strange coincidences into trusted guides on your journey. Remember, the universe or your inner voice doesn't need loud voices or grand signs. Sometimes a gentle whisper, a glance, a thought, a surprise encounter is enough to affirm your direction. The key is to stay open and present, letting these subtle signals resonate deeply within. When you start trusting these small confirmations, they become part of a natural rhythm, guiding your steps softly but surely. It's as if life itself is offering you a repeated pattern of gentle signs, waiting for you to notice and acknowledge them. And once you do, your sense of connection and confidence will quietly deepen, leading you to a more intuitive, trusting way of living. Body-centered practices for immediate feedback. Before the first leaf falls, the air already whispers of change. Intuition works the same way. It speaks before the evidence arrives. When we tune into our physical sensations, we can access immediate feedback that reconnects us with our innermost selves. Think of it as a compass, guiding us through the chaos of daily life. Each flutter in the stomach, tension in the shoulders, or warmth in the heart can be a message waiting to be understood. In a world filled with distractions, embracing our body's signals allows us to navigate with clarity, helping us make decisions that resonate with our true desires. In many traditions, the body is seen not just as a vessel, but as a source of wisdom. Neuroscience supports this idea, revealing that the brain, gut, and subconscious act in concert to process experiences and feelings. For example, researchers have demonstrated that the gut has its own network of neurons, often referred to as the second brain. This connection explains why people sometimes refer to a gut feeling. By acknowledging and listening to these sensations, we open ourselves up to profound insights about our lives and choices. Have you ever felt the whisper before the storm? Perhaps you sensed unease before an important decision, or exhilaration when contemplating a new opportunity. These nudges from our body often aim to protect us or push us toward growth. It's essential to create space for reflection on these experiences. What might your body be trying to communicate? This gentle inquiry can enrich your understanding of yourself, serving as a bridge between intuition and action. Body-centered practices are simple yet powerful tools for enhancing this dialogue. One practice is mindful breathing. As you inhale deeply, visualize filling your body with light and warmth, then let the breath flow out, releasing tension. This creates a moment of pause where you can tune into any sensations or emotions. Pair this with movement, such as gentle stretching or walking, to integrate your physical experience with internal awareness. Each step can serve as a reminder to stay present, allowing you to observe how your body responds to different environments and situations. Another practice is gentle awareness exercises. Simply by closing your eyes and focusing on body parts, you can invite deeper understanding. Start with your feet and gradually work your way up, noticing any feelings or tightness. Do certain sensations evoke emotions? This practice encourages you to acknowledge both comfort and discomfort, transforming them into valuable insights about what you truly need. Think about your daily routine. Are there moments in which you can incorporate these practices? Perhaps during your morning coffee, you allow yourself a few moments to breathe deeply before diving into the day's tasks. Or maybe, during a walk, you observe the rhythm of your steps, aligning them with your breath. Each of these small adjustments can create ripples of awareness that touch each aspect of your life. The journey doesn't rely on grand gestures. It's in the little moments, a self-check-in while waiting in line, a grounding breath before responding to an email, or simply pausing to feel your feet on the earth. As you engage in these practices, the feedback your body offers will become clearer, guiding you toward choices that feel congruent with your true self. Allow your intuition to rise from the depths of your physical being. This is not just about quieting the mind, but also about tuning into the wisdom of your body. As you bake these practices into your life, let them flow naturally and fill your moments with intention. Consider it a dance between your body and mind, choreographed by an innate sense of knowing. Remember, the whisper is not fragile. It waits. All it needs is your listening, creating an intuitive decision-making framework. Imagine a gentle river flowing steadily through a quiet forest. The water moves without force, carving its path over time with ease and grace. This river reflects how intuitive insights guide us when making decisions, not loud or rushing, but calm and steady, carrying us forward when we learn to trust its rhythm. Like the river, our intuition sends subtle signals that can be overlooked if we rush or try too hard to control the current. When we begin to notice this natural flow, we start to create a rhythm in decision-making that feels effortless and balanced, allowing us to move through choices with clarity and calm. This flow comes from structuring those intuitive signals, arranging them gently so they form a pattern we can recognize and follow. Rather than fighting with confusion or endless debate, we draw a line through our thoughts and feelings, like following a path beside the riverbank. It doesn't mean ignoring facts or voices of reason, but letting our inner sense lead first, then weaving in other impressions. This creates a natural pace, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, but always true to what feels right. Decision-making stops feeling like a struggle and starts to feel like a dance, where trust and attentiveness guide each step. Turning this idea of flow into something practical means paying attention to three key things: awareness, reflection, and trust. Awareness is like stepping back from the rushing water and noticing how it moves. When you pause to sense what's happening inside and outside, you open space for intuition to surface. Reflection follows naturally, like watching the changing patterns on the water's surface, and lets you see your thoughts and feelings clearly, without judgment. Trust is the gentle push that encourages you to step into the river, to begin navigating decisions with what you sense deep down, even when the future seems uncertain. This simple, customizable way of working with intuition doesn't require special skills or tools, only a willingness to slow down and listen. You might find that sitting quietly for a moment before a choice, noticing your body's experience, or jotting down a few impressions helps the process unfold. Asking yourself gentle questions like, "What feels true here?" or "Where does my attention naturally go?" can help strengthen this instinctive voice. Over time, these small moments add up, building a steady habit of intuitive decision-making that feels natural, confident, and grounded. Have you ever noticed how the river doesn't rush or force its way, but adjusts patiently to the shapes it meets? Your intuition works in a similar way, always available but waiting for your quiet attention to surface. Next time you face a decision, try taking a breath and imagining yourself by that calm, flowing river, letting the answers come in their own time. Chapter 9. Integrating intuition into daily life and decisions. Aligning daily choices with inner guidance. Imagine waking in the morning as the sun nudges the sky blue, feeling a quiet sense of possibility. While rushing through a busy day often pulls us in every direction, the small moments, like pausing before taking a sip of tea or stretching after sitting for a while, offer subtle chances to tune in. These little pauses act like soft whispers from within, inviting us to notice what our feelings, thoughts, or even bodily sensations are trying to tell us. Instead of dismissing these signals as distractions, we can learn to see them as gentle anchors, grounding us in a deeper awareness of ourselves. Over time, these simple routines become natural conversations with the heart, helping us stay connected to what truly matters amid daily chaos. Beginning to recognize these natural pauses doesn't require a schedule shift or complex ritual. It starts with small choices, like taking a breath before responding to a friend or pausing to feel your feet on the ground as you stand up. These tiny acts become tools you can use all day, transforming routine moments into quiet conversations with your inner self. By cultivating this attitude of gentle listening, you learn to notice subtle feelings and intuitive nudges that often go unnoticed. The more you practice, the more your awareness deepens, creating an environment where trusting those inner whispers feels natural, even in the busiest times. These moments remind us that our inner voice is always present, waiting patiently for us to stop long enough to hear it. When a decision arises, from choosing what to eat to how to respond in a challenging conversation, it can be tempting to rely solely on logic or habits. Yet, leaning into your gut feelings can bring clarity and ease that thinking alone might miss. A practical way to begin is to ask yourself a quiet question before acting. What feels right in this moment? Notice how your body responds, perhaps a sense of lightness or a tightening, and see if that guides your choice. Over time, this practice helps you differentiate between impulses driven by fear, habit, or genuine instinct. Learning to trust these signals turns awareness into action that aligns with your deeper self, making everyday decisions feel more natural and less stressful. Another simple step is setting aside a moment of stillness during the day, maybe just a minute or two, where you tune into your inner voice. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and ask yourself what you need or want in that moment. Pay attention to the feelings that surface. Are you craving calm, clarity, or perhaps a bit of movement? Acting from this place of awareness doesn't mean perfect decision-making, but it allows your choices to come from a sense of trust and connection. When you practice this regularly, small decisions become opportunities to show yourself that your intuition is a reliable guide. It's like forging a path through a familiar forest. You learn to recognize the subtle signs that lead you forward. Trusting your inner guidance is a gentle process of learning to speak your own language of feelings, thoughts, and sensations. Remember, it doesn't require grand gestures. Sometimes, the simplest moment of awareness can shift an entire day. Keep in mind that every small conscious choice is a step toward more harmonious living, one that honors the quiet wisdom already within you. With consistent practice, listening inward becomes as effortless as breathing, guiding your daily flow with a natural, trusting rhythm. And as your awareness deepens, you'll find that many of your choices, big or small, naturally align with a sense of peace that only your inner voice can provide. Using intuitive checks before major decisions. Before a significant change in the weather, there is a quiet shift, a cooling breeze, a whisper of leaves rustling against one another. Similarly, there are moments in life when an instinct nudges us toward a particular decision. Picture a time when you felt an unexplainable pull toward one path over another. Perhaps it was a job opportunity that seemed perfect on paper, but didn't quite feel right in your heart. Or maybe you faced a pivotal relationship decision that stirred a deeper sense of knowing. These subtle signals remind us of the importance of tuning into our intuition, allowing it to guide us through life's pivotal moments. Like nature's cues, our inner voice often speaks softly but carries profound wisdom, urging us to notice what might be easily overlooked. Intuition arises from a well of experiences, both lived and inherited, residing deep within our subconscious. It navigates through the maze of our intellect and emotions, often leading us to clarity before our rational mind catches up. This inner wisdom can be a bridge, guiding us toward choices that resonate with our true selves. Reflecting on the times when we acted against our instincts reveals that the mind can analyze, but may not always understand the emotional undercurrents at play. Silence, when embraced, amplifies these whispers, helping us to hear the wisdom embedded within our feelings. Trusting this innate knowledge is not just a gamble. It is acknowledging the depths of our understanding formed over years of personal and collective experience. Taking a moment to pause allows us to reconnect with our inner voice. Start by creating a tranquil space, whether that's sitting quietly in your room or taking a stroll in nature. Stop, breathe deeply, and allow your thoughts to settle. Focus on what arises. Are there feelings of tension or ease concerning your decision? Jot down these impressions to form a clearer picture. When you notice your body responding, tightness in your stomach or a flutter of excitement, it is often a message worth considering. A simple practice is to ask yourself, what does my heart say about this? Often, when you pause to listen, the answer flows more naturally than you might expect, guiding your intuition as the seasons guide the changes in nature. This practice is not about making hasty choices based on fleeting feelings. It's about developing a deeper relationship with your intuitive self. Start small, perhaps with daily choices such as meals or how to spend your free time. Use a journal to reflect on these decisions and any intuitive nudges that accompanied them. Over time, you will build trust in your instincts. Keep in mind that intuition is not about certainty. It is more of a guide, an inner compass that, when nurtured, can illuminate the path ahead. Like a friend who knows you well, your intuition offers suggestions shaped by all your experiences, ready to be acknowledged and celebrated. Give yourself the time and space to listen, for within these moments lies the clarity you seek, waiting patiently to be discovered. Balancing logic and inner wisdom in problem solving. Imagine the slow drift of the sun and the moon sharing the sky, each appearing as if in a delicate dance, their light touching different corners of the world at different times. Our minds often feel like these two celestial bodies, logic and inner wisdom moving in their own rhythm, belonging to separate worlds, yet both glowing softly within us. Logic, like the steady sun, shines clearly and brightly, illuminating facts and reasoning. Inner wisdom is more like the moon's gentle glow, subtle and mysterious, revealing truths from within that aren't always easily explained. Though they seem to travel on separate paths, they together light the way forward, each needed in its own measure. When faced with a problem, it can feel as though logic and intuition are opposing forces, a battle between heart and head. But what if they were partners in a dance rather than rivals on a stage? Logic asks questions, weighs evidence, and builds structures of understanding. Inner wisdom whispers through feelings, memories, and a deep sense of knowing that often escapes clear explanation. Sometimes intuition steps up before logic arrives, nudging you toward a decision that later makes sense. Sometimes the mind piles up information until the inner voice chooses which pieces truly matter. Bringing these together is less about forcing agreement and more about creating space for conversation. Think about moments when you've made a choice and something inside tugged at you, maybe a quiet feeling of unease or a spark of certainty. Have you listened to those moments or brushed them aside? That feeling is a subtle signal rooted in your experiences, values, and subconscious pattern recognition. The mind might have been unsure, but the body and soul knew something deeper. What if you invited that inner voice to speak alongside your rational thinking instead of silencing it? Balancing the two isn't about picking one over the other, but letting them take turns leading. Just as day turns to night and back again, moments of clarity often come from swapping between logic's sharp focus and intuition's soft guidance. Try this the next time you face a decision. Quietly gather your facts as you normally would, then close your eyes and take a few slow breaths. Notice what feelings or images rise up, not to judge or analyze, but simply to observe. Give yourself permission to hold space for both what your mind knows and what your heart senses. Writing down both your logical reasons and your intuitive impressions side by side can reveal patterns you might miss when you favor only one way of knowing. Over time, this practice can create a gentle rhythm, a way to listen deeply to yourself and your situation before taking a step forward. The dance between logic and inner wisdom is not about speed or certainty, but about trust and patience, a quiet unfolding like the turning of seasons. When you invite both to guide you, decisions become less about force and more about flow. The gentle pulse between sun and moon reminds us that clarity comes in many forms, and sometimes the light we seek first glows from within, waiting to be noticed. Building a routine for regular inner reflection. Imagine your days as a garden, each moment a seed waiting to be planted and nurtured. In this garden, quiet and stillness are just as crucial as the busyness around you. Setting aside small windows of time, perhaps when you first wake up or before you go to sleep, creates a space where your inner voice can grow stronger. These moments become like gentle watering, helping your intuition flourish without overwhelming your busy mind. The key is consistency. Even short, daily pauses shape a pattern that deepens your ability to listen to yourself over time. Think about simple, repeated actions you could include in your daily life. It might be just 5 minutes in the morning to sit quietly with your thoughts, or taking a minute before bed to notice how you feel. These small routines don't have to be complicated or long. The goal is to make them easy enough to stick with, so they become a natural part of your day. When you choose a steady time, like after breakfast or during your lunch break, you create a rhythm. Over days and weeks, your mind begins to associate that moment with a gentle connection to your inner self, turning reflection into a familiar conversation rather than something foreign or distant. As you start to build this routine, keep in mind that not every session will feel profound. Sometimes, your mind will drift or thoughts will pop in unexpectedly. That's okay. The act of returning to your chosen moment, even gently, sends a message to your subconscious. This time is yours to listen. To help create this habit, you might set a simple reminder or place a small object nearby, a stone, a leaf, or even a candle, that signals it's time to pause. Over time, these cues will anchor your reflection routine, making it a natural part of your day without adding pressure or complexity. Your mornings and evenings can become a quiet harbor where you can slow down and reconnect with the quiet voice that often gets drowned out in the rush around you. Think of your routine as a small sanctuary you build within, a space to tune into what's really going on inside. Each time you sit quietly, you're planting a gentle seed, a soft whisper that says, "I'm listening." As it grows, you'll find that your inner voice becomes clearer, guiding you more often without needing loud confirmation. Remember, this isn't about finding big answers right away, but about creating a rhythm where your mind feels comfortable turning inward. Even when life feels chaotic, those brief, regular moments of reflection act like anchors, holding you steady in your own presence. Sometimes the simplest act, just noticing your breath or feeling the ground beneath you, can become the most powerful step toward understanding yourself better. Chapter 10. Deepening your connection through nature and seasons. Using nature walks to tune into your inner landscape. As you step onto the soft, leaf-strewn path of a quiet forest, the world around you feels alive and still at the same time. Sunlight filters through a canopy of emerald leaves, casting a gentle glow that dances along the forest floor. Each footfall releases the fresh scent of damp earth and moss, reminiscent of ancient stories whispered among the trees. You take a deep breath, allowing yourself to pause and soak in the ambience. In this serene space, there's an unspoken invitation to listen, to feel, and to tune into the quiet messages that nature offers. The rustle of leaves in the breeze and the distant call of a bird become the backdrop for a reflective journey inward, encouraging you to explore the subtle signals of your own thoughts and feelings. Walking here, the noise of everyday life fades into a gentle hush. In such moments, you may find yourself becoming aware of how your body feels. Is there tension in your shoulders? A fluttering in your stomach? Connecting with these sensations creates a bridge to your inner self. The rhythms of nature align with your heartbeat, reminding you that slowing down can lead to greater clarity. The forest invites you not just to tread lightly on its paths, but to step softly into your own presence, unearthing layers of intuition that often lie dormant beneath the rush of daily life. In the stillness, there's a unique opportunity to notice both the external world and your internal musings. Each rustling leaf and skittering squirrel offers a chance to reflect. Slowing down creates space to observe not just the beauty around you, but also the feelings that rise within. What thoughts surface as you walk? Are there memories that arise, or feelings that you've set aside? This awareness is an important part of tuning into your intuition, akin to sharpening a lens to see clearly. It's in nature's subtle changes, the first bloom of spring, the rich colors of autumn, that we can find parallels in our lives. Just as the seasons shift, so do our feelings and ideas, inviting us to adapt and transform. As you become attuned to these shifts, consider asking yourself reflective questions. What is my heart telling me today? How does nature around me mirror my own journey? Giving yourself the freedom to acknowledge these messages is key to deepening self-awareness. You might carry a journal on your walk to jot down insights that arise. The act of writing can cement connections between what you observe in nature and your inner thoughts. And remember, intuition doesn't yell, it whispers. Taking these moments to listen can reveal profound truths that guide your path forward, reminding you that you are a part of this ever-changing natural world. Next time you set foot in a natural space, Allow yourself to wander, but also to wonder. Engage with the environment through your senses. Let the sounds, sights, and smells wash over you, and let your thoughts flow freely. By practicing this exploration, you not only enhance your connection with nature, but also nurture your intuition, paving the way toward a deeper understanding of yourself. Harnessing seasonal changes to refresh your inner guidance. Standing in a quiet forest as the seasons shift, you feel the world around you changing in subtle ways. The air grows cooler, then warmer. Leaves turn from green to gold before they drift softly to the ground. These changes aren't just happening outside, they mirror something deep inside you. Each season brings its own rhythm, a gentle invitation to notice what is stirring within. Just as the forest moves through cycles of growth and rest, so does your inner life, offering quiet clues if you pause long enough to listen. Before the first leaf falls, there is a hush, a still space that seems to hold the promise of change. Intuition works in much the same way. It often whispers ahead of moments that demand response, signaling shifts in your path before decisions become urgent. This is your inner voice tuning into a rhythm older than you, one that beats in sync with the Earth's own pulse. By slowing down and syncing with this natural timing, you open a space where your inner guidance feels clearer and more alive. Have you noticed how certain times of the year naturally push you toward different feelings or ways of seeing the world? Perhaps spring awakens your hopes, summer invites boldness, autumn encourages reflection, and winter calls you to rest. These outer seasons are much like seasons of the heart and mind. Paying attention to these natural changes helps your inner voice find new ground to speak from, refreshing the wisdom you carry quietly inside. When you tune yourself to the natural flow of the seasons, you allow your mind and spirit to move in rhythm with something larger than your daily routine. This isn't about forcing change, but about noticing how energy rises and falls in patterns that influence how you think, feel, and decide. In spring, for example, there's an urge to plant seeds, not just in the garden but in your life. This might mean trying new ideas, setting gentle intentions, or simply opening up to possibility. Summer, with its long bright days, often stirs a boldness to act, to bring ideas into the light. As autumn arrives, the world softens its pace, urging a quiet kind of wisdom to emerge. The leaves turning color remind you that letting go can create space for fresh insight. This season can help your inner guidance by encouraging reflection on what no longer serves you and where deeper clarity is waiting. Winter's stillness invites rest and listening. It's a time when your intuition may speak in quieter tones, guiding you through dreams, moods, or subtle sensations in your body. By following these cycles, your ability to access fresh insights expands naturally. The body, mind, and spirit aren't meant to stay in one gear indefinitely. Aligning your inner rhythm with nature's gentle pulse helps to clear mental clutter, refresh old perspectives, and open new doors of understanding. Nature becomes a teacher, reminding you that change is not only expected but necessary for growth. This ongoing dance of seasons invites you to renew your relationship with yourself again and again, in ways that feel effortless and natural. Try to observe where you are in the cycle right now. What does the season seem to be inviting you to notice about your own inner life? Is there an urge to begin something fresh, a call to slow down, or a gentle push to release what feels heavy? Allow the shifting seasons to be a mirror for your soul's own rhythm, a quiet map to help you move with greater ease and confidence. Next time you find a moment outdoors, pause and take a deep breath. Feel the temperature on your skin, notice the colors around you, and listen to the sounds, the crunch of leaves, the hum of insects, the whisper of wind. Let these sensations bring you fully into the present moment and invite your inner guidance to speak. What image, feeling, or thought arises naturally? There is no need to push or pull. Simply witness what comes. Afterward, consider writing down a few notes or even a single sentence that captures that sense. This can be a seed of intuition planted gently within you. Return to this simple practice regularly as the seasons continue to turn, watching how your inner messages shift and deepen in harmony with the world. Over time, this rhythm of noticing, listening, and reflecting helps solidify a connection with the subtle currents that guide you quietly through life's many changes. Remember, your inner guidance is always present, much like the coming and going of the seasons. It doesn't demand force or control, only your willingness to tune in with gentle patience and curiosity. This practice is less about finding answers right away and more about creating a space where wisdom can slowly unfold, much like the earth readying itself for new growth beneath the snow. The voice inside you is like the first breath of spring. It may be soft, but it carries the promise of something new. It waits in stillness, asking only for your attention to bring it into clear view. Practicing nature-based rituals for clarity and renewal. Imagine walking into a quiet forest at dawn, where each rustle of leaves and every sliver of sunlight whispers secrets of renewal. The gentle feeling of being surrounded by trees, hearing birds waking, and sensing the cool air on your skin creates a quiet space where your mind can settle. These moments in nature feel like soft gateways, inviting us to leave behind worries and reconnect with ourselves. Engaging in simple rituals outdoors can help clear mental clutter and provide fresh perspectives, much like the first gentle breath of a new day. Through small, seasonal practices, like placing a stone on a favorite tree or watching the way light shifts through the branches, we become more attuned to nature's subtle signals. These acts are less about doing and more about noticing, allowing us to tune into the rhythm of the natural world. When we pause to observe a blooming flower or listen to the sound of rain, pathways open inside us for intuition and clarity to emerge. Over time, such mindful moments deepen our sense of connection and create a natural springboard for inner renewal. Creating a small outdoor altar might involve gathering a few meaningful objects, such as leaves, shells, or feathers, and placing them in a special spot in your yard or garden. Sitting quietly nearby, you can set intentions, express gratitude, or simply breathe with the natural landscape around you. As you do this, notice how your thoughts quiet down and your senses sharpen. These gentle acts remind us that the answers we seek are often already present in the quiet, everyday movements of nature. A simple ritual like this can anchor your mind and refresh your spirit, making space for clarity to settle in naturally. Many find that taking time to observe the changing seasons helps them align with their inner flow. For example, planting seeds in spring becomes a symbol of new beginnings, while walking barefoot in summer's warmth can enhance feelings of groundedness. Autumn's falling leaves can encourage reflection, and winter's stillness invites deep rest and quiet listening. If you start noticing how your body responds to these seasonal shifts, you may find your intuition sharpening, like a compass pointing toward what truly matters. The key is to keep things simple and consistent, letting nature guide your quiet inquiries and acts of renewal. Observing natural cycles as mirrors of your inner journey. As spring unfurls its delicate blossoms, it embodies the spirit of renewal, awakening the dormant hopes within you. The energy of summer pulses vibrantly, urging you to embrace passion and growth, while autumn whispers of harvest, a time to gather the fruits of your labor. Winter's stillness serves as a gentle reminder to pause and reflect, allowing introspection to flourish in the quiet. Each season brings its own lessons, echoing the cycles of our hearts and minds. Reflecting on the natural cycles, growth, rest, renewal, harvest, mirrors your own emotional and spiritual phases. When you feel the drive to create or change, it parallels the energetic burst of spring. Such moments remind you to trust that your inner compass knows when to push forward. Conversely, in times of feeling overwhelmed or fatigued, it can be helpful to recognize this as your personal winter, where rest is not just necessary, but essential for regeneration. Embrace these shifts, acknowledging that just as nature thrives on the balance of activity and rest, so do you. Allow these phases to guide you in navigating your life's journey more intuitively. Have you ever noticed how the rhythms of nature can resonate with your own emotional states? Consider the last time you felt an instinctual nudge to take a break or start a new project. Did you listen to that quiet urging, or did you push through, ignoring what your inner self was trying to tell you? Just like the changing seasons, your feelings come in waves, each with its unique purpose. Engaging with these cycles invites a deeper connection to yourself. Reflect on your experiences, perhaps through journaling, to identify patterns in your life. What does the cycle of growth look like for you? And how does it contrast with your periods of rest and reflection? To strengthen this connection with your natural rhythms, try a simple practice. Set aside a few moments each week to sit outside or by a window and observe the changing elements around you. Take note of the colors, sounds, and movements, allowing yourself to be fully present. As you observe, think about what phase of life you are currently in and how it mirrors the natural world. This practice can help attune you to your intuition. Each gentle observation opens a doorway to understanding the fluidity of your experiences as reflections of nature. The heart knows the seasons well. It feels them even in the absence of external signs. Tuning into this rhythm connects you with a profound truth, that you too, follow a pattern similar to that of nature. Remember that every ebb and flow serves a purpose. The journey isn't about accelerating through each phase or forcing a particular outcome. Instead, it's about trusting that each moment, like each season, has its own wisdom to share. Chapter 11. Healing Blocks and Barriers to Intuitive Trust. Identifying Personal Wounds and Limiting Beliefs. A tree stands tall in a quiet forest, its trunk marked by deep scars and rough patches where the bark once healed over wounds. Each crack and knot tells a story: the winter storm that bent its branches, the wildfire that singed its leaves, or the careless feet that broke its tender limbs long ago. These scars do not vanish. Instead, they become part of the tree's shape and character, shaping how it grows towards the sky. Much like this tree, we carry our own marks, invisible wounds etched into the soft places of our hearts and minds. These wounds create patterns in how we think about ourselves and the world, quietly influencing every choice we make, every dream we chase or let fade away. Sometimes, these personal wounds turn into limiting beliefs. They are like old shadows cast by the hurt, whispering doubts and fears. You are not good enough. You don't deserve happiness, or if you try, you will fail. These thoughts settle like thick moss, blocking the light of our true potential. The tree's scars do not mean it is weak. They mean it has survived. Likewise, our wounds, while painful, are proof of our endurance. Yet, they can also trap us in patterns that make it hard to trust ourselves or listen to the quiet wisdom inside. Recognizing these scars is the first step towards seeing how they shape the landscape of our inner life and how they might be gently reshaped to allow new growth. Do you ever notice a sudden hesitation before you speak your truth, or a vague feeling holding you back from stepping forward? These moments often point to deeper places shaped by past experiences, a childhood disappointment, a painful rejection, or a time when your voice was silenced. Inviting yourself to sit quietly and notice these feelings without judgment can start a conversation with your own story. What memories come up when you feel small or unable to move? Which beliefs about yourself have settled in quietly across the years, almost like old friends, even though they keep you stuck? A gentle way to begin this is to imagine sitting with your younger self, the version of you who first felt these wounds. What would such a child need to hear? Maybe reassurance that it was not their fault, or that they are seen and loved just as they are. When you can offer yourself this kind of kindness, the walls built from fear and hurt begin to soften. You don't need to rush the process or force answers. Simply noticing the presence of these thoughts and feelings is enough to start creating space for healing. This awareness invites you to trust your intuition again, which thrives in an environment where fear loosens its grip and self-compassion flourishes. Have you ever heard a quiet voice inside that seemed to know what you needed before your mind did? That inner voice often gets muffled by the noise of fear and doubt born from personal wounds. When those old stories run in the background, it's like trying to listen to a soft melody while a storm rages outside. But when the storm calms even just a little, the melody comes through clearer, your intuition nudging you toward what feels right and true. Trust begins with noticing these gentle signals and recognizing that they come from a well of wisdom built from your accumulated life experiences, feelings, and hopes. Try spending a few moments each day in quiet reflection, breathing deeply, and simply asking yourself, what belief about myself might be holding me back? Where in my body do I feel tension or resistance? Sometimes, the answers show up as emotions or physical sensations instead of clear thoughts. This form of gentle curiosity can open a pathway to deeper understanding and shift the way those old wounds influence your decisions. Trust grows as you practice showing up for yourself with patience, gently pulling away the layers of limiting beliefs until the soft whispers of your authentic self can be heard more clearly. Here is a simple practice you can try. When a limiting belief surfaces, acknowledge it quietly inside. Then ask, is this really true? What would I believe if I felt safe and free? Writing down what arises can give these hidden thoughts a space to reveal themselves, making them easier to face and soften over time. This small act of discovery is like watering the roots of your wounded tree, nourishing the ground so new leaves of confidence and clarity can emerge. Releasing past trauma that hinders inner listening. Picture your mind as a river winding through a quiet landscape. Along its banks, remnants of old wounds and memories drift like fallen leaves, some bright and noticeable, others hidden beneath the surface. These echoes of past pain influence the currents of your inner world, subtly shaping how safe and trusting you feel within yourself today. Sometimes, these memories create resistance, making it difficult to hear the gentle voice of your intuition, which longs to guide you. Recognizing that these layers exist is the first step, like noticing the layers of soil that have accumulated over time, each layer holding stories, fears, and hopes from long ago. Gently exploring this inner space requires kindness and patience. Imagine peering into a sacred garden that has been overgrown with weeds, yet still holds vibrant flowers underneath. Inside, your healing begins with acknowledgement, allowing yourself to notice the parts of your story that still carry weight. Instead of rushing to clear the chaos, sit quietly and breathe. Ask yourself, what memories or feelings tend to rush to the surface when I feel uncertain or unsafe? These are often signs of unresolved wounds, tucked away but still influencing your life. Sometimes, just giving yourself permission to feel these emotions openly begins to loosen their grip and make space for new, lighter feelings to emerge. To start releasing what no longer serves, consider a simple practice. Find a quiet moment, close your eyes, and breathe deeply. Imagine these past wounds as stones scattered along your riverbank. Visualize gently picking each stone up, acknowledging its presence without judgment, and then setting it down softly, as if releasing a heavy burden. It's not about erasing the memories, but making peace with their presence. Journaling about what comes up as you do this can help bring awareness and clarity. Write down what memories feel heavy or unprocessed, and what you sense around them. This act of acknowledgement allows the hidden wounds to surface and begin to loosen their hold, clearing the path for your inner voice to speak freely again. Remember, healing isn't a straight line. Sometimes, old wounds resurface unexpectedly, echoing like distant thunder. When they do, gently remind yourself that these are part of your story, stories waiting to be understood and released. With patience, each small act of compassion you show yourself builds a bridge toward clarity. The more you listen without judgment, the more your inner voice will become clear and steady, guiding you through the layers of your past. Trust that the process is ongoing, and each moment of gentle awareness is a step toward reclaiming the peaceful flow of your own inner river. Transforming inner criticism into compassionate listening. Before the first leaf falls, the air already whispers of change. Intuition works the same way. It speaks before the evidence arrives. The inner critic often emerges like a storm cloud, ready to pour down uncertainty and harsh judgments. This inner voice can be relentless, casting shadows over our thoughts and feelings, which leads us to doubt our own instincts and capabilities. Have you ever caught yourself saying, "I can't do this," or "I'm not good enough"? These are the echoes of the inner critic, undermining the trust we should have in ourselves. This voice doesn't just criticize, it blocks us from listening to our deeper, intuitive self. When that internal dialogue is negative, it creates barriers that can feel insurmountable. Rather than embracing the soft whispers of our intuition, we often find ourselves drowning in a sea of self-doubt. Imagine walking in a forest where the trees grow so thick you cannot see the sky. That's what it feels like when the inner critic takes over. The beauty and clarity that intuition brings are hidden behind a tangled thicket of judgment and fear. At some point, we may come to realize that the inner critic doesn't need to be our enemy. Instead, it can be transformed into a quiet, compassionate listener, a guide that helps us grow rather than condemn. Imagine this presence as a gentle breeze that sweeps through the trees, allowing us to breathe more freely. When we begin to approach ourselves with kindness, we create an opening for intuition to blossom. Rather than pushing away our critical thoughts, we can acknowledge them and transform them into encouragement. This journey starts with promise and possibility. A simple practice can invite your intuition back into your life. Each morning, take a few moments to sit quietly. Close your eyes and focus on your breath, letting go of any judgments or criticisms that arise. After a few minutes, ask yourself what you truly feel. What does your gut say about today? Write down those thoughts. At first, it may feel challenging to separate from the critic's voice, but over time, what feels genuine will emerge. The whispers of your inner self will begin to ring clearer with this attentive approach. The whisper is not fragile. It waits. All it needs is your listening. Building resilience against external distractions. There was a moment, not long ago, when a quiet afternoon in a small cafe turned into a restless battle for attention. At first, the soft murmur of conversations around felt comforting, like a gentle river flowing nearby. But gradually, the clatter of cups, the buzz of phones, and bursts of laughter began to grow louder, nudging away the stillness within. In that moment, I realized how easily the outside world reaches in, pulling thoughts away from what I was trying to sense deep inside. The heart's guidance, subtle and tender, struggled to rise above the noise, almost fading into the background. This dance between inner calm and external demands plays out every day in countless ways, reminding us how often the world tempts us to lose touch with our own rhythm. That pull of distraction is not just an annoyance. It can drown the quiet voice that nudges us toward what feels true. Our minds, wired for constant stimulation, can lose sight of intuition's gentle signals when overwhelmed by the barrage of alerts, conversations, and visual clutter. But just as a tree weathers storms by bending without breaking, we too can cultivate strength against these pulls. Mindfulness, for instance, acts like a soft anchor, inviting attention back to the present moment without judgment. Simple boundaries, such as choosing times to silence devices or stepping outside for fresh air, create pockets where the heart can regain its clarity and the mind can settle into a slower, quieter pace. These practices help form a protective space within, where insight and quiet knowing can grow and bloom, even amid chaos. Take a moment to notice how often your thoughts get swept away by noises or interruptions. Can you remember a time when a fleeting distraction led you off course, making you lose track of what you truly wanted to focus on? What if that momentary pull was also an invitation to deepen your relationship with stillness? Inviting curiosity about these experiences softens resistance and opens a pathway back to the subtle language of your inner world. When you begin to recognize distraction for what it is, a reminder that your attention is a precious resource, you can gently choose where to rest it. This choice becomes an act of resilience, a quiet rebellion against being scattered, and a way to nurture your heart's wisdom. One easy way to start building this resilience is to simply pause and breathe when distractions arise. Notice the pull without pushing it away or diving into it. This soft awareness creates a space where the noise can exist without pulling you under. Perhaps try setting a gentle intention each morning to honor your moments of stillness, no matter how brief. Even a few deep breaths before answering a message or listening to a notification can reconnect you to yourself. With time, these small, mindful acts become threads in a fabric of focus, weaving a subtle boundary that holds the distractions at bay. The heart's quiet voice will find a way to be heard, not by resisting the world, but by inviting your presence back into yourself again and again. The whisper inside is never lost. It simply waits for the quiet to come close. It is there, beneath the noise and hurry, ready to guide when you allow it. You don't need grand gestures or long retreats, just a gentle turning inward, a soft breath, and a moment of acceptance that this journey back to yourself can happen amidst the sounds and stories around you. Chapter 12. Advanced Techniques for Mastering Inner Guidance. Using guided visualization to access deeper wisdom. Close your eyes for a moment and picture a quiet, serene place from nature that makes you feel safe and at ease. It could be a lush forest, a gentle stream, or a soft sandy beach. Imagine yourself sitting or lying there, feeling the gentle breeze or warm sunshine on your skin. Take a few deep breaths, letting each inhale bring in calm and each exhale release tension. When your mind starts to wander, gently bring it back to this pleasant scene, sensing the peacefulness that surrounds you. This simple visualization creates a safe space within, softening the mind and opening the door to deeper understanding within. As you settle into this scenery, notice how your body begins to relax naturally. The quiet hum of nature, the faint sound of water or rustling leaves, starts to lull your thoughts into a gentle rhythm. Here, in this peaceful place, your mind is more receptive to subtle whispers from within, those quiet insights that often get drowned out during busy moments. This initial calming step is like planting a seed in rich soil, ready to grow clarity and intuition. The key is to hold on to this calm, allowing your subconscious to gently surface the wisdom that has been waiting beneath the surface all along. Once you feel your entire being settling into this tranquil space, remind yourself that this calm is a portal, a resting place for your inner voice. Your subconscious is eager to share insights when given the space to breathe. Think of this moment as tuning a delicate radio. When your body and mind are at ease, clearer signals from your inner self come through without static or distraction. With patience and a gentle intention, this peaceful state becomes a safe harbor from which your deeper wisdom can emerge when you're ready. You don't need to force anything, just be present, and let your mind gently open like a window to the truth within. Now, imagine yourself walking along a quiet path in a familiar, welcoming place. It might be a garden, a forest trail, or a winding riverbank. As you walk, notice how your surroundings shift to reflect your inner world, calm, open, and full of subtle messages. Feel your feet softly touching the ground, grounding you further into the present moment. As you walk, you come across a small, inviting clearing or a cozy spot that feels like a safe haven. When you find this place, take a seat and settle in. Here is where your subconscious feels most comfortable, ready to share its silent wisdom with you. Allow yourself to ask a simple question, something you've been curious about or an area where you seek guidance. It might be about a personal decision, a relationship, or a sense of peace you seek. As you hold this question in your mind, notice how your body responds, perhaps a subtle sensation, a fleeting image, or a quiet thought. Trust whatever comes, no matter how small or odd it seems. Sometimes, the tiniest detail can carry the most meaningful message. Stay with this feeling or image for a moment, like collecting a precious gem, knowing that it holds the key to your inner knowledge. When you feel ready, thank your inner self for sharing this insight. Gently bring your attention back to your breath and the sensation of sitting in your peaceful place. Remind yourself that this space within is always accessible, and the more you visit it, the clearer and more trustworthy your inner guidance becomes. With practice, tuning into these quiet signals becomes a natural part of life. Each time you return to this calm place, your subconscious strengthens its voice, helping you feel more confident in listening to what truly matters inside. Remember, the clarity is not in the loudest answer, but in the quiet sense that settles softly in your mind. Trusting your inner voice takes patience and gentle attention. Every time you practice, your connection deepens, and what once seemed distant becomes more familiar. The sense that guides you is always present, waiting patiently for you to pause long enough to listen. The more you nurture this quiet trust, the more your inner wisdom begins to guide you naturally, like a trusted friend whispering softly in your ear when you least expect it. Practicing active imagination and inner dialogue. Imagine finding a quiet corner deep within yourself, a sacred space where your true stories can unfold without interruption. This space feels safe and familiar, much like a cozy nook in a warm house. As you close your eyes, take a deep breath and allow the noise of the outside world to fade away. Picture soft, warm light streaming in, illuminating the shadows that sometimes hide your thoughts and feelings. In this gentle ambience, your imagination begins to dance, revealing visions, memories, and emotions that long to be expressed. This is the essence of active imagination, a practice that invites you to connect with the myriad aspects of your inner self. Now, in this tranquil setting, select an inner figure or a part of yourself you hold curiosity for, perhaps the playful child you were, a wise mentor, or even a challenging critic. Picture this figure standing before you as if alive, ready to engage in conversation. Approach this dialogue openly. Allow yourself to experiment with questions and responses freely. Why does this part of you exist? What stories does it carry? Be ready to listen, without judgment, exploring the rich texture of this inner voice. Each expression from this figure offers insights that can guide you toward deeper self-understanding. As you converse, tune into the feelings and wisdom that emerge. You might find yourself surprised by the clarity or the complexity of what this figure reveals. Embrace these revelations as invitations to learn more about your desires, fears, and motivations. Feel free to respond, letting your thoughts flow without restriction. Engage in this dialogue like a dance, with each question creating space for more responses. Allow your imagination to roam, and let your inner landscape surprise you with its depth. This practice not only illuminates hidden aspects of yourself, but also fosters a nurturing relationship between the various parts of your psyche. Working with archetypes and symbols for insight. Imagine stepping into a quiet forest where ancient trees stand tall, their branches stretching wide as if holding stories from centuries past. The leaves rustle softly, carrying whispers not of words, but of images and signs that hint at something deeper. Symbols hang like delicate fruit in this forest, shapes, colors, and figures that are silent yet full of meaning. Archetypes live here as well, timeless patterns that appear again and again, not just in nature, but in our dreams, stories, and even the way we see ourselves. This forest isn't just a place outside. It's the landscape of your inner world, inviting you to listen with more than your ears, to understand with more than your mind. Symbols and archetypes often show up in ways that feel familiar yet mysterious. They come from the subconscious, the part of us that holds memories, feelings, and wisdom just beneath the surface of daily thought. When you pay attention, these symbols act as messengers, pointing toward deeper truths you might not see outright. Think of the hero archetype, often seen in stories as a brave traveler or warrior. It reflects a part of us that longs for growth and courage, while the shadow represents what we might hide or deny. Recognizing these symbolic languages helps you tap into patterns within yourself and life, offering insight without needing a long explanation. This is why dreams are rich with symbols. They speak a language of images because the subconscious prefers this way of communicating. Have you ever noticed a sudden image stuck in your mind after a strong feeling, like a stormy sea when you were upset or a bright sun when you felt hopeful? These images might be archetypal symbols your subconscious is offering to help you understand what's happening inside. What stories do your inner symbols tell? Is there a recurring figure or theme? These questions gently shift your attention from everyday details to the bigger, often unseen threads of meaning weaving through your experience. Sometimes the answer is not found in facts or logic, but in the feeling and resonance that a symbol creates within you. The quiet presence of these images invites curiosity rather than judgment and encourages you to engage with your inner world in a creative, open way. To begin working with these archetypes and symbols, start by noticing what naturally draws your attention. Keep a simple journal nearby, where you can sketch or write about unexpected images, dreams, or even everyday objects that seem charged with meaning. Try pausing during your day to close your eyes and let an image or symbol surface without forcing it. Ask yourself softly, what might this mean for me right now? This small habit invites a conversation between your conscious mind and the intuitive wisdom of symbols. You might find that a simple shape or color feels comforting, challenging, or even energizing. Over time, these symbols can become gentle guides, offering insight during moments of confusion or decision. Pay attention to feelings stirred by the image itself, not just the story your mind creates around it. As you continue this practice, you may discover that certain archetypes resonate more deeply, perhaps the caretaker, the wanderer, or the seeker. Notice when these patterns emerge, especially during moments of stress, change, or growth. Reflect quietly on what these roles might be asking of you, or what parts of yourself they represent. Sometimes a symbol reappears to highlight something ready to be understood or healed. This process is less about finding right or wrong answers and more about nurturing a gentle awareness, like walking through the forest and feeling the texture of bark beneath your fingers. Let the images come and go, allowing your mind to swim in their meanings rather than pinning anything down too tightly. Try a simple exercise. When you wake from a dream or encounter a powerful image during the day, pause and breathe deeply. Without rushing, write down or draw what you remember. Then, imagine inviting that symbol to speak. What might it say if it were a friend? What advice or story could it share? This approach turns symbols into companions who offer insight in their own way. Over time, this practice helps you build a more vivid and personal symbolic language, making your inner world feel both familiar and alive. The forest of archetypes and symbols is always there, waiting for you to walk its paths and listen to its stories with attentive curiosity. Developing a personal inner guidance system with tools and symbols. Imagine a quiet stream flowing through a dense forest. Its gentle ripples reflect the light, yet beneath the surface, currents move with unseen intention. This image captures how our inner guidance works, often subtle, rooted in personal symbols and tools that serve as gateways to deeper awareness. When we learn to recognize and honor our unique symbols, whether a recurring image, a specific scent, or a particular phrase, they act as signposts guiding us inward. These symbols are like personal keys that open doors into our subconscious, revealing wisdom that words alone often miss. Building a set of tools and symbols tailored to you creates a kind of map, helping you navigate life's choices and inner shifts with more confidence and clarity. Personal symbols and tools blend intuition with meaningful imagery created from our own experiences, memories, and feelings. Think about the comfort of a favorite keepsake, a song that stirs deep emotion, or a color that calms your mind. These are symbols that whisper stories directly to your subconscious, bypassing the filters of logical doubt. For example, someone might see the image of a lighthouse when seeking direction, or only notice the color blue when needing reassurance. The key is to develop your own set of symbols that resonate deeply, making them more powerful in moments of uncertainty. Over time, these symbols become familiar allies, gently signaling when things are aligned or when a different path might serve you better. Tools for inner guidance come in many forms. Journaling offers a safe space to reflect, where words or sketches can become a mirror held up to your inner landscape. Meditation practices help tune your attention inward, revealing subtle messages that often hide beneath noise. Breathing exercises can anchor you during stress, transforming the breath into a tool for clarity. Even simple rituals, like lighting a candle or holding a stone, can act as physical anchors for your intention to listen more closely to your inner voice. The purpose is to build a personal toolkit that is easy to access and that evolves alongside you, becoming a trusted part of your daily life. These tools ground your intuition, turning fleeting impressions into steady guidance. Creating your own symbolic language might begin with gentle practices. Start by noticing what appears repeatedly in your life, a specific image, word, or feeling. Write these symbols down in a journal and pay attention to how they show up during your day. When you encounter one of your symbols, pause for a moment and ask what it might mean for you. Do you notice a certain smell when making decisions? Does a particular animal appear in dreams or daydreams? Over time, these signs become familiar friends, helping you build trust in your inner compass. Reinforce this trust through small acts, like choosing a symbolic object to carry with you or meditating on a recurring image. The more you attune yourself, the more natural it feels to interpret these signals as part of your inner language. Trusting your inner guidance system involves a gentle willingness to listen, without judgment or expectation. Find moments in your daily routine to tune in, whether it's during a walk, a quiet cup of tea, or before sleep. Ask yourself simple questions, like what do I need right now? Or what is my inner voice trying to tell me? Then pay close attention to your thoughts, feelings, or physical sensations. Remember, symbols often communicate without words, perhaps a warmth in your chest, a sudden image, or even a specific sound. With practice, you'll notice that you begin to recognize these subtle cues as natural parts of your inner language. Trust grows when you see how these signs quietly, gently point you toward clarity or reassurance, reinforcing that your inner guidance is always there, waiting for your attention. Chapter 13. Sharing and honoring your intuitive voice with others. Creating safe spaces for sharing inner insights. Every person carries a unique world within them, a well of thoughts, dreams, and emotions waiting to be shared. This inner landscape can feel vulnerable and raw, yet when a safe space is created, individuals often find the courage to express their deepest insights. Imagine a quiet forest glade, where sunlight filters gently through branches, casting a warm glow on the ground. It's here, in such serene conditions, that wildflowers bloom freely and trees stretch tall. Creating a similar atmosphere for sharing inner thoughts allows voices to emerge without fear. The foundation of this trust is respect, active listening, and understanding. When people feel that their contributions matter and won't be judged, they will share their wisdom and experiences more openly. In this world, it is essential to recognize how many voices go unheard. Have you ever been in a situation where you hesitated to speak up? Perhaps you sensed judgment or indifference. Such feelings can stifle honesty. Building trust means acknowledging these experiences and ensuring that every participant knows their voice has value. An environment that radiates acceptance encourages people to engage without fear. This can lead to a richer exchange of ideas and emotions, where insights flow freely like a river paved by rocks that soften the water's path, allowing it to travel farther. Creating a nurturing environment is more straightforward than it might seem. Start with simple gestures. Invite participants to share their thoughts without interruption. Encouragement can come from nods, smiles, or soft words of affirmation. Such actions signal that what they share is valuable and that you are genuinely engaged. Like the first blossoms of spring, the happiness in this space nurtures budding confidence. Regularly checking in with those around, you can also reinforce a sense of safety. Questions like, how does this idea resonate with you? Or what are your thoughts on this? Show participants that their insights are desired and necessary. Consider setting aside a specific time for reflective exercises. This could be a few quiet moments to journal or to think aloud in pairs before sharing with the larger group. When participants know that they have dedicated time to reflect, it may ease the pressure to speak immediately. Just as roots grow stronger when nourished by water, inner thoughts become clearer when given space and time. Also, take care to celebrate all contributions, no matter how small, as each one adds to the richness of the conversation. Let sharing feel as natural as breathing. This will not only honor those insights, but also weave a stronger bond among participants. As you engage in these practices, it's important to reflect on your own role. Are you creating a safe space, or are there barriers you've unintentionally put up? Examine your own thought processes and listen to the gentle nudges of your intuition. How can you model the openness you wish to see in others? Fostering this nurturing atmosphere can ultimately lead to deeper connections. The act of sharing becomes a communal garden, flourishing with collective wisdom. Learning to listen respectfully when others share their wisdom. There was a time when an elder from a small village sat quietly among a group of listeners who had gathered to hear his stories. The sun was just beginning to set, casting a warm golden light through the trees. As he spoke, his words unfolded slowly, like leaves unfolding in early spring. No one interrupted, no one hasted his speech. They simply listened, heart open, breath steady, presence kind. The wisdom came not just from his stories, but from the space they created between the words. That silence was a sacred thread, holding respect and attention tightly together. It taught that hearing someone's wisdom requires more than just ears. It requires a gentle surrender to the moment and a willingness to slow down enough to receive what is being offered without rushing to judge or respond. When someone shares from their heart, they are handing over a piece of themselves, a glimpse of their own journey. Our minds might be quick to react, crafting responses or comparing what we hear to what we know. But this interrupts the flow of connection. Listening with respect means choosing to hold back those internal responses and allowing space for their words to settle. It is an act of generosity, giving time, attention, and clear presence. Thoughts quiet, emotions calm, and the body still in readiness to catch the subtle hues hidden in their voice and gestures. This kind of listening nourishes trust because it shows that the speaker's experience matters, that it is valid and seen, not just heard and forgotten. Think about a time when you truly felt heard. Was it the warmth in another's eyes, the pause that let you finish your thought, or the absence of judgment that allowed you to be vulnerable? What happens when we reverse that? When was the last time you caught yourself interrupting or tuning out when someone tried to share their insight? There's a rhythm to listening, a delicate dance between speaking and receiving, and sometimes we stumble simply because we are eager to give without first making room to receive. Can listening be an offering, as important as the wisdom shared? One simple way to begin listening more respectfully is to notice the way your body reacts when someone speaks. Do you lean in or withdraw? Are your hands busy or still? Even subtle shifts can show how ready you are to hold space for another's words. Next, try to resist the urge to formulate your response while they are speaking. Instead, focus on their tone, their pace, and the emotions behind their words. Let your attention rest there, like sunlight on water, uninterrupted and steady. Afterwards, you might silently thank yourself for this quiet pause, then gently reflect on what was shared without rushing to offer advice or correct. Imagine your presence as a soft cushion supporting their wisdom rather than a wall that stops it. Listening with respect is less about the words themselves and more about the way we choose to be present. It invites us into an intimacy beyond conversation, where trust quietly grows and understanding deepens. Try this. Before the next time someone shares a piece of their wisdom with you, take a slow, intentional breath. Let go of any distractions and invite your whole being to rest in the moment with them. Notice how this simple act shifts the space between you. The gift of respectful listening is not only for the speaker but also for you. It opens a door to connection that is as nourishing as the wisdom itself, balancing personal trust and external validation. Imagine standing at the edge of a quiet lake, watching your own reflection ripple in the stillness. There's a soft tug between trusting what you see in the mirror, your own insights, and the ripples caused by distant winds, representing the opinions of others. Both influence how you see yourself, yet one is steady and familiar, while the other comes from outside forces that shift and swirl. Recognizing this dance is the first step. Understanding that as humans, we naturally seek connection and reassurance, often balancing our internal sense of self with the desire for outside validation. Our need to be liked, understood, or accepted isn't a flaw, it's woven into our human nature. We develop these feelings early in life, when we seek approval from caregivers or peers to feel safe and valued. Over time, this need to be validated can become so ingrained that we start measuring our worth through others' opinions. But in moments of quiet reflection, we might sense a different voice, one that whispers from inside, urging us to trust our own judgment, even if it doesn't align with external voices. This internal push and pull shape how we navigate the world, urging us to find a balance that keeps us honest with ourselves and connected to others without losing our authenticity. It's helpful to remember that external validation can be a double-edged sword. It can motivate us to grow and improve, but it can also lead us away from our true selves if we rely on it too heavily. On the other hand, trusting your inner voice requires patience and a gentle willingness to listen. Think of it like tending a garden. Your inner trust needs daily watering with small acts of self-kindness and reflection. Practicing mindfulness, journaling, or simply pausing to ask yourself what feels right can strengthen this inner connection. At the same time, recognizing when outside opinions are helpful or when they drown out your own truth helps you decide which voices to listen to and when to retreat into your own sense of clarity. Learning to tell the difference between your own intuitive nudges and external influences takes time. Start by noticing when you feel a sense of calm or certainty, an ease in your chest, a gentle clarity, when making decisions or expressing yourself. These are signs your inner voice is speaking clearly. Conversely, if you notice tension, doubt, or a sense of obligation when following someone else's advice, it may be a cue to pause and check in with your own feelings. Ask yourself, does this decision resonate with what I believe deep down, or am I doing this for approval? Developing this awareness is like honing a muscle. The more you pay attention, the more natural it becomes to follow your internal compass. Practicing small acts of self-trust can help build confidence. For instance, next time you feel unsure, take a moment to write down what you really want, without judgment or filtering. Notice the thoughts and feelings that arise, and observe whether they bring you peace or discomfort. Remember, trusting yourself doesn't mean ignoring others. It's about discerning when someone's opinion aligns with your authentic self and when it conflicts. This ongoing practice creates a gentle space between your inner voice and external influences, one where inner guidance can thrive without the noise of others' expectations overwhelming it. Finally, trust grows through experience. Each time you make a choice based on your feeling, and you see it leading to a genuine outcome, your confidence in your own judgment deepens. It's like discovering a secret garden within, a place you return to where your intuition guides you softly but firmly. The journey isn't about perfection. It's about learning to listen and believe in that quiet voice, even when the world's noise tries to drown it out. To nurture this trust, consider setting aside a few moments each day for quiet reflection. Ask yourself, what do I truly feel about this situation? And then listen to the response that bubbles up from within. Over time, you'll notice that your inner voice grows clearer, more confident. Trust isn't about ignoring outside input. It's about making space for your internal wisdom to speak, knowing that your feelings are valid and deserving of attention. The melody of your true self is always there, waiting for you to listen and embrace it. Using community to strengthen your inner practice. Before the first leaf falls, the air already whispers of change. Just like nature prepares for the shift of seasons, our intuition often signals us before decisions need to be made. Community plays a vital role in this process. Through conversations and shared stories, we uncover reflections of ourselves. Every exchange with others can feel like a gentle nudge or an illuminating moment, revealing truths we may not have recognized alone. These interactions create an energetic space that cultivates awareness, allowing us to hear our inner voice more clearly. Trust forms the foundation of effective community engagement. When we gather with others, we create a web of support that can validate our feelings and thoughts. Have you ever felt a sense of relief after sharing a concern with someone? In that moment, the weight of your worries often lifts as others resonate with your experiences. This connection not only reinforces our self-awareness, but also strengthens our intuition. As we listen to the stories of those around us, we find common threads that resonate, igniting insights that come from deep within. Imagine sitting in a circle with friends, sharing dreams or fears under a sky painted with stars. That feeling of openness is crucial for deepening our connection with both ourselves and each other. Vulnerability invites honesty, and honesty nurtures trust. In spaces where individuals feel safe to express their thoughts and emotions, intuitive voices can emerge unencumbered. The more we share, the more we realize others face similar challenges, and through this acknowledgement, we begin to embrace our intuition as a collective experience. This sense of belonging enriches not just our understanding of ourselves, but also our understanding of others. Reflect on a time when you shared a personal struggle and felt seen by someone else's experience. What if that moment was more than just support? What if it was a shared awakening of intuitive understanding? Every story shared shifts the collective energy, and the act of listening becomes just as powerful as speaking. Creating spaces where listening is prioritized validates each person's inner guidance, fostering a community that's rich with wisdom and insight. To cultivate this kind of environment, consider showing up with intention. Approach conversations not just to share your thoughts, but also to listen deeply. When you share your own revelations, invite others to reflect on their responses. You might ask, "What resonates with you in my story?" Or, "Have you experienced something similar?" These questions spark deeper discussions and invite people into a space of reflection, ultimately strengthening personal intuition and shared understanding. As you navigate your path within a community, remember that every interaction can be a stepping stone toward deeper self-awareness and intuition. Whether in small gatherings or larger groups, trust the magic of connection. Each conversation can lead you to a clearer sense of your own voice, reminding you that you are never alone on this journey. Chapter 14. Living as your authentic self, the wholehearted path. Aligning your life with your inner truth. Imagine standing at the edge of a clear lake, its surface perfectly still, reflecting the sky above. The calm water mirrors everything around it without distortion, showing a true image without judgment or alteration. This stillness is much like the clarity of your inner truth waiting quietly beneath the noise of everyday life. When the lake is undisturbed, it reveals what is there beneath the surface, just as your inner truth becomes visible when you learn to pause and listen with patience and openness. By gently tuning into that quiet inner voice, you begin to hear beyond the noise of self-doubt, external pressure, and old habits. This voice is not loud or demanding, but it flows gently like a river moving toward its source, steady, sure, and full of purpose. When your actions and choices follow this current, life feels less like a battle and more like a natural unfolding. Finding this alignment doesn't mean you need to rush or force change. It means you start noticing where your energy naturally feels lighter, your decisions feel right, and your soul feels recognized. Pause for a moment and think about times when you have made choices just to please others or to fit a certain image. What did that feel like afterward? Did your heart feel content, or was there a quiet unrest you couldn't quite explain? Our inner truth often speaks softly but consistently, urging us toward what feels authentic and meaningful. Sometimes the challenge lies in trusting that gentle voice instead of the louder ones telling us what should be. Try this. Find a quiet place and close your eyes for a few minutes. Breathe slowly and picture that still lake again. Notice what images or feelings arise without pushing or analyzing them. When your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the peaceful scene. Afterward, write down one small way you might honor something true inside you today, no matter how small or simple it feels. This practice opens a door to deeper listening and gradually helps clear the path to living with more honesty and ease. The stillness within is waiting, not fragile but patient, and it needs only your willingness to pause and listen to begin speaking clearly. Manifesting courage to follow your inner guidance. There are moments in life when everything seems to pause, and a whisper from within urges us to move differently, to step into the unknown. I remember a time when I stood at the edge of a decision that felt bigger than me. My heart fluttered with fear, and doubts started to creep in. What if I was wrong? Yet deep inside, there was a quiet voice that urged me forward, promising that no matter the outcome, staying silent would be its own loss. That moment wasn't about having all the answers, but about listening beyond the noise of fear to what truly mattered. Courage wasn't the absence of fear, but the willingness to move despite it, trusting that the inner voice was guiding me to where I needed to be. Our connection to that inner guidance often comes in subtle ways, like a gentle nudge or a fleeting thought we dismiss as insignificant. Acting on these small signals can feel risky, especially when uncertainty looms. However, each time we choose to pay attention and trust that voice, we begin to reinforce a kind of bravery. Practicing trust might be as simple as taking a deep breath before responding to a sudden idea or giving ourselves permission to feel vulnerable without the need for control. Recognizing vulnerability as a sign of authenticity, rather than weakness, helps us get comfortable with the imperfect journey of living true to ourselves. Over time, These small acts of bravery grow into a steady confidence that familiarizes us with the language of our inner self. One way to nurture this courage is through gentle reflection. Ask yourself what fears arise when you consider following your intuition. Notice sensations in your body, the tightness, the warmth, or the openness, and let those sensations be guides, not obstacles. Think about moments when your gut feeling was clear, but you hesitated. What stopped you then? Could it have been fear of failure, judgment, or simply not feeling ready? By shining a light on these barriers without judgment, you start to loosen their hold. Remember, bravery is not about never feeling fear. It's about recognizing it and choosing to move forward anyway. Allow small acts of trust each day, like listening to an inner urge and acting on it in minor ways, and watch how these actions gradually build the muscle of courage inside you. Practicing a simple exercise can start to ground this process. Each morning, take a moment to set an intention, something like, "Today, I will listen to my inner voice, no matter how small the signal." Then, throughout the day, pay attention to your inner sensations or thoughts. Those fleeting impressions that might seem insignificant, but are actually pieces of your inner compass. When you notice something that calls your attention, pause and gently ask, "Is this what I need to hear right now?" Trust what comes up without overthinking. Over time, these small habits begin to rewire your relationship with your inner guidance, making it easier to act bravely when it truly matters. Remember, courage grows quietly and steadily. Like a seed breaking through the soil in the early morning light, it doesn't need to make a grand show. Sometimes, simply acknowledging your fears and choosing to listen despite them can open a doorway to greater authenticity. Stand firm in the knowledge that each step taken in trust is a step toward greater freedom. The voice within isn't waiting for perfection or grand declarations. It's there, quietly persistent, ready to illuminate your path whenever you're willing to listen with an open heart. A helpful tip: keep a small journal nearby and jot down the moments when you felt a nudge, whether you acted on it or not. Over days or weeks, review these entries to notice patterns or insights. Seeing how your intuition has spoken in small ways can boost your confidence, reminding you that your inner guidance is always present, gently waiting for you to tune in. Overcoming social and cultural conditioning. Standing beneath a canopy of blossoming branches, a person strolls through an old orchard, the air fragrant with spring blooms. Each step stirs memories of laughter, whispers of family stories, and the weight of expectations that may not be their own. The petals sway gently in the breeze, delicate and persistent, much like the beliefs we gather throughout our lives. As light filters through the leaves, it illuminates forgotten dreams and hidden truths, revealing how deeply rooted societal norms and inherited beliefs can shape our identities. Walking further, one feels both comforted and constrained by the familiar scenery, pondering how often they wear masks to fit in with the world around them. In moments of stillness, the orchard invites reflection on how external influences shape us, nudging us toward paths we may not choose for ourselves. As these influences weave through our lives, they offer both guidance and restriction, molding our thoughts, actions, and desires. Many of us carry the burden of beliefs instilled by family, culture, and society, which can sometimes drown out the authentic voice within. By gently teasing apart these inherited patterns, we might discover an unfiltered version of ourselves, hidden behind layers of social conditioning. Understanding this can be the first step to reclaiming one's narrative, one blossom at a time. Consider taking a moment each day to pause and reflect on your thoughts and feelings. Ask yourself, are these beliefs truly mine, or did I adopt them from others? Think about the conversations you've had, the values you've been taught, and the expectations you've faced. Are they rooted in your own desires, or are they shadows of someone else's story? This self-inquiry is the beginning of unearthing the conditioned patterns that have shaped your life. You don't need to reject them outright, but rather, notice their influence on your choices and identity. Engaging in simple practices can help you disentangle from these societal conditioning threads. Journaling is a powerful tool. Write down your feelings without judgment, allowing your authentic self to flow onto the pages. You could also try meditation, focusing on your breath and observing your thoughts with curiosity. Each time an external influence pops up in your mind, gently recognize it and then let it drift away like a cloud passing across the sky. With time, these practices can cultivate a deeper awareness and help you reconnect with your own values and desires. It's a journey of rediscovery, and each small step counts, celebrating your unique inner light in daily life. Imagine sunlight filtering through a dense canopy of leaves, each ray slipping through cracks and revealing patches of brightness on the forest floor. That light is not something separate from the environment. It is part of the whole, yet it shines in its own way, catching your eye and drawing you in. Just like those beams of sunlight, each person carries a unique inner light, a mix of qualities, experiences, and quirks that radiate quietly beneath the surface. This light may not always blaze boldly, yet it never disappears. It waits for the moment you notice it, appreciate it, and let it touch the world around you. Sometimes it flickers softly, other times it bursts brightly, inviting you to step into its glow and celebrate what makes you you. There is a gentle art to honoring this light each day, not by grand gestures, but through simple acts that express who you are without hesitation or apology. It might be the warmth in your smile to a stranger, a quiet moment spent reading your favorite poem, or wearing a piece of clothing that feels like a secret celebration of your spirit. Being present to your own feelings and trusting the small impulses that arise is a way to nourish this light, letting it grow steadily rather than forcing it to shine before it is ready. When you pay attention to what calls you inward, what excites or calms you, you begin to recognize the patterns that are uniquely yours. This mindful presence becomes a way of living with your light on, always available, even in the seemingly ordinary moments. Think about how your inner light shows up spontaneously. Have you noticed times when something as simple as a favorite song or the scent of rain lifts your mood unexpectedly? Maybe during those moments, your light is reaching out, asking for more space to shine. What if honoring that feeling means taking a pause, breathing deeply, or allowing yourself a bit of play or rest without guilt? Cultivating this habit of gentle awareness creates a quiet invitation to celebrate your true self daily. The light within you is not meant to be hidden away or dimmed. It's a constant companion that encourages you to trust your instincts, express your creativity, and move through life with authenticity. One natural way to celebrate your unique light is to build small rituals that feel joyful and nourishing. These don't have to be complicated or time-consuming. Lighting a candle while you sip tea, jotting down a line of gratitude, or even pausing to appreciate the colors of the sky can become moments where your inner brightness is gently acknowledged. When you treat these actions as gifts to yourself rather than obligations, they open a door to deeper self-connection. Over time, these moments accumulate, reminding you that your uniqueness is always worth noticing. Your inner light isn't waiting for a special occasion. It is alive in every breath, in every step you take through the day. Chapter 15. The Continual Journey, Embracing a Lifelong Practice. Cultivating patience and persistence in inner work. Imagine planting a tiny seed in the soil during the cold, quiet days of winter. Beneath the frozen ground, roots are quietly stretching, preparing to emerge when the time is right. This image reminds us that inner growth doesn't happen overnight. Like seeds, our insights and healing need patience. They need time to develop and bloom. Sometimes we expect instant results, but true change unfolds gradually, like the slow awakening of spring after a long winter. Inner work requires us to trust the process, even when progress feels hidden or slow. It's about recognizing that every small effort, every moment of awareness, is adding to a greater transformation. When we nurture this patience, we give ourselves permission to learn from setbacks and doubts. Understanding this cycle helps us accept that meaningful change is a quiet unfolding rather than a sudden leap. Patience becomes the silent partner in our growth, holding space for ourselves during the times when results aren't immediately visible. Being gentle with ourselves during these moments can deepen our trust. Instead of forcing breakthroughs, we can focus on small daily acts, pausing to breathe, noticing a thought, or simply sitting in silence, and see them as watering the roots of our inner garden. Over time, the unseen work begins to show signs of life. Like the first green shoot emerging through the snow, patience ensures that when the right time comes, our inner world will bloom in its own full, vibrant way. One helpful practice is to set intentions for patience. Remind yourself that growth is a natural process, and it cannot be rushed. Perhaps write a quiet note to yourself, affirming that every moment you spend reflecting or tuning inward is cultivating something lasting. When impatience arises, gently return your attention to the present, just as the earth remains still beneath the winter snow. This gentle approach creates a steady foundation for your inner journey, allowing your true self to unfurl quietly but surely. Persistence in inner work resembles the steady march of the seasons. Think of a person walking across a forest, step after step, even when the sunlight is dim and the path is unclear. Life's changes often come slowly. They're woven into the rhythm of everyday moments. Personal stories share how moments of struggle and doubt can feel like stumbling, yet those very moments push us to keep going. It is persistence that turns fleeting insights into lasting change, much like the way a river slowly shapes a canyon over time. Staying committed to your intuitive journey means respecting your own rhythms. There may be days when clarity is distant or emotions feel heavy. In those times, it's enough to show up for yourself, write in your journal, meditate for a few minutes, or simply breathe and listen. These small acts, done consistently, are building the foundation for deeper understanding. Persistence isn't about forcing progress. It's about honoring your process and trusting that each step carries you closer to awareness. Many people who have dedicated years to their inner work share stories of seasons of doubt. They speak of moments when doubt overshadowed hope, when the path seemed unclear or even stagnant. Yet they kept going, confident that their persistent effort would eventually bring clarity. Like tending a garden through changing seasons, commitment nurtures growth during every phase, whether spring or winter. The effort might not always feel dramatic, but over time, the small, consistent choices add up to a profound transformation of the inner landscape. One simple practice to encourage persistence is to anchor your daily habits around your intention to grow. Maybe it's a morning walk, an evening reflection, or a quick check-in with yourself. When you notice doubt creeping in, remind yourself of your deeper purpose. It can help to think of your inner work as planting a tree. You measure progress not by how tall it is today, but by its steady roots. Over months or years, those roots deepen, and the tree begins to stand tall and strong. Too slowly for some, but perfectly enough for those willing to walk the path step by step. Remember, persistence is about holding steady through the uncertainties. When your inner voice whispers, "This is taking too long," gently acknowledge it but don't turn away. Instead, reaffirm your commitment, like a steady heartbeat beneath the surface. Over time, these small, resilient efforts form a silent alliance with your deeper self, one that quietly, persistently guides you toward wholeness. Keep showing up, even when the road feels long or unclear. Knowing each moment builds resilience in your inner landscape. Practicing patience and persistence together creates a gentle but powerful rhythm. While patience teaches us to trust the timing of growth, persistence reminds us to stay committed despite setbacks. Combining these qualities turns inner work into a daily act of kindness toward ourselves. Think of the process as tending a lush garden. Some plants bloom quickly, others need years of care. Both are part of the journey, each important and worthy of respect. Recognizing new layers of intuition with life experience. Walking through the crisp morning air, the world feels alive with possibilities. As I take each step, the rhythm of my breath syncs with the gentle rustle of leaves, and I sense the undercurrents of intuition stirring within me. Every life experience, like the changing seasons, unfolds and reveals new aspects of who we are. Just beneath the surface, layered experiences, joys, struggles, and revelations, have woven themselves into the fabric of our intuition. This hidden depth often goes unnoticed, yet it shapes our understanding and decision-making in profound ways. These experiences are like roots that intertwine, supporting the tree of our intuition. With each challenge faced and lesson learned, we lay down new shoots, singular insights that add complexity to our inner knowing. This process isn't always easy. At times, we may feel lost in the shadows of doubt or uncertainty. Yet, like the soil nourishing a growing plant, these life encounters feed our intuitive wisdom, inviting us to trust ourselves more deeply. Life's journey often presents moments that challenge our perceptions, nudging us towards a deeper understanding of ourselves. In hindsight, I realize how certain decisions felt right even when logic suggested otherwise. For instance, I once decided to leave a secure job, driven by a whispering urge in my gut. To many, it seemed reckless, but in time, that choice led me to paths I had never envisioned, a more fulfilling career and important connections I still cherish. These intuitive nudges often emerge from a tapestry of experience and reflection, illustrating that intuition isn't merely instinct. It is shaped by the entirety of who we are. Consider, too, how we often deny those small inklings that surface, brushing them aside in favor of more rational thoughts. Think back. Have there been moments when you felt a quiet nudge or an inexplicable sense of knowing? Perhaps it was a chance meeting that felt too significant to be random, or an idea that would not leave your mind. Each time we listen, and even more importantly, act on those nudges, we reinforce and enhance our internal compass. Curiosity plays a big role here. It encourages us to explore beyond our comfort zones and be open to new insights. To nurture this evolving intuition, it can be helpful to create a practice of reflection. Journaling is a gentle way to allow thoughts to flow. Consider closing your eyes and recalling a time when you felt a strong gut feeling. Write down the experience in detail, noting how that feeling guided you. What did it reveal about you, and what did you learn? This practice not only strengthens the connection to your intuition, but also helps in recognizing its evolution over time. In this gentle dance of listening and responding to our inner voice, we build a more profound sense of self-trust. We come to understand that intuition is not a static trait, but an ever-expanding reservoir fed by the richness of life experiences. Every leaf that falls, every lesson that shapes us, becomes a whisper through which our intuition speaks. Being open and attuned to these messages can lead to truly enriching life's journey. Adapting practices as seasons and life phases change. Before the first leaf falls, the air already whispers of change. The subtle shift in temperature, the softening light, the way the breeze begins to carry a different scent. All these moments hint at an unfolding transition. Our inner world moves much the same way. Just as the seasons turn without rushing, our intuition and the ways we listen to it also shift as we move through different phases of life. There is a natural rhythm to these changes, a gentle call to adjust how we attune ourselves, to meet who we are now with kindness and awareness. Each season offers its own lessons and needs. In the spring of life, bursting with growth and possibility, our inner voice might feel loud, eager to explore and try new things. As summer arrives, this voice can feel steady and confident, energized by warmth and long days. Autumn invites a slowing down, turning inward to gather wisdom and shed what no longer serves us. Winter asks for rest and reflection, a time to listen deeply in the quiet. When we recognize these cycles within ourselves, we begin to see that intuition isn't static, but flows alongside our changing selves, encouraging us to shift our practices in gentle response. When we pass through life's phases, childhood, young adulthood, middle years, or later seasons, the ways we connect to our intuition naturally evolve. What felt clear and dependable in one chapter may become murky or even silent in another. Perhaps in youth, spontaneous creativity guided your decisions, while later, quiet reflection or deepened emotional understanding takes the lead. Rather than resisting these changes, we can learn to welcome them as parts of our inner unfolding. The key is to stay open and curious about what our intuition needs from us now, adapting rather than holding on tightly to past ways. Change can often stir up discomfort, even when it gently calls us forward. The mind may want certainty or a fixed routine, craving the familiar patterns of old. Yet, life's flow reminds us openness is a form of strength. By embracing flexibility in how we listen and respond to our inner nudges, we build trust, not just in those quiet signals, but in ourselves to navigate whatever shifts arrive. This openness allows intuition to breathe and grow, rather than shrink or become rigid under pressure. Reflect on moments when your feelings or instincts seem different than before. Have you noticed times when the practice that once felt grounding now feels heavy or disconnected? These moments are invitations. They ask you to pause and gently ask, "What does my inner landscape need now?" This simple question can open a door to compassion for your current self, honoring the changes life gently or abruptly brings. It's a way of holding yourself tenderly, acknowledging that transformation is part of your story rather than a detour from it. Imagine your intuition as a river that shifts course over time. It may deepen in some places, become wider, or carve out new paths entirely. You can't stop the river from flowing, but you can learn to navigate it thoughtfully. Cultivating this kind of listening means allowing patience, curiosity, and tenderness to guide you. It means recognizing when to engage actively with your intuition and when to rest in the unknown, trusting that the current will bring you forward in its own time. Try a simple practice to gently adjust your connection with intuition as seasons shift or life changes. On a quiet morning or evening, sit outside or near a window and take a few slow, deep breaths. Notice what sensations arise in your body. Are they warm or cool, heavy or light? Let your mind settle and ask silently, "What part of me needs attention now?" Without forcing an answer, observe what thoughts, feelings, or images surface. This openness to receive whatever comes helps you become aware of subtle shifts within, allowing you to respond with kindness rather than resistance. Small, regular check-ins like this work like tuning a musical instrument. They keep you aligned with your changing self. As you practice, you might find that your intuition speaks differently at different times. Sometimes through a sudden insight, other times through a steady feeling deep in your belly. Each message is part of a living conversation between you and your inner world, echoing the natural cycles around you and within you. Remember, the whisper is not fragile. It waits. All it needs is your listening. Honoring your inner compass as a sacred companion. Imagine a quiet, steady lighthouse shining softly on a foggy night. Its beam cuts through the darkness, not with loudness or force, but with a gentle persistence. Your inner compass is much like that light, small, constant, and always present, even when it's hard to see. As life shifts through moments of joy, challenge, and uncertainty, this internal guide quietly shifts with you, gradually refining its direction. Recognizing it as a sacred part of yourself invites a kind of reverence, an understanding that this inner voice holds wisdom earned through your experiences. Sometimes in the rush of daily life, it's easy to overlook or dismiss that quiet feeling in the gut or that nudge in the heart. Yet, it's often during the quiet moments, when you pause, breathe, and listen, that this guide reveals itself more clearly. Life seasons, marked by growth and change, naturally influence how this inner voice speaks. During times of confusion, the compass may soften, signaling a need to slow down or turn inward. When life feels bright with possibility, it encourages you to move forward with trust. Respecting this inner guidance means understanding that it is not fixed but grows and deepens as you do, demanding ongoing acknowledgement rather than fleeting recognition. Building a close relationship with your inner voice requires gentle patience, like tending to a delicate plant. Start by simply paying attention. Notice when your thoughts or feelings seem to point toward a decision or a quiet feeling of knowing. Keep a small journal, and occasionally jot down moments when you felt guided or when things turned out differently than expected. Gratitude plays a big role here. Recognizing the times your intuition has led you well offers a quiet encouragement to keep trusting your internal sense. Approach this relationship with kindness, as you would with a friend, without judgment or expectation, just pure openness. Practicing patience might mean sitting in stillness for a few moments each day, listening without trying to force an answer. An open heart creates space for subtle guidance to emerge, sometimes as a gentle whisper, sometimes as a lingering feeling. When you notice a small nudge or a sudden clarity during these quiet moments, thank yourself for listening. Over time, these simple acts of acknowledgement help your internal compass feel more familiar, more like an old friend you trust without doubt. It's through these small, consistent gestures that your connection deepens, turning this internal dialogue into a steady, sacred companionship. Sometimes the best way to honor your inner voice is by accepting its guidance without needing constant proof or validation. Trust that the whispers and feelings are parts of a larger wisdom meant to serve your growth. By cultivating patience, gratitude, and openness, you create a space where this sacred guide can speak more freely to you. Remember, this relationship isn't built overnight, but nurtured through everyday moments of gentle acknowledgement. Your inner compass is quietly always there, waiting for your soft, ongoing recognition, like a friend who patiently waits for your attentive presence. The key to maintaining this sacred connection is to keep listening, without expectations or resistance. Your inner guide can be as subtle as the breeze on a warm day or the stillness before dawn. When you learn to notice these small signals, you invite a steady rhythm of guidance into your life. Trust that as you nurture this relationship, your inner voice will become more clear, more constant, your ongoing companion on every step of your journey. If there's one thing I hope you take with you, it's this: your intuition was never lost. It was only quiet, waiting for you to pause long enough to hear it again. You've explored the whispers of your body, the signs in your emotions, the patterns of seasons, and the tools that help bring clarity. But underneath all of that, intuition is not about techniques or rituals. It's about remembering that you already carry the wisdom you seek. Life will pull you in many directions. There will be noise, doubt, distractions, and fear. But whenever you feel uncertain, stop and ask, what is my compass telling me right now? And then, trust it enough to take one step. Thank you for walking this journey with me. May you move through your seasons with more clarity, more trust, and more courage to live in alignment with who you truly are. because the compass you forgot you had, it was never gone. It's been within you all along.